Hello, everybody, and welcome into our second live coaching session with Eli the Ninja with G1 over there. We already did one coaching session a while back. I'd say probably like 2 or 3 months ago. We've made a lot of leaps and bounds since then. A substantial amount of improvement, I would say. So we're going to see how we can push that a little bit further. We're going to jump into chat with him pretty much right now. We're going to dive right in. So we got 2 hours. We got 2 different games. We got an Oddball and a King of the Hill. 2 pretty lengthy games to go through. So a lot of gameplay we're going to go through with Eli. So we're going to jump into chat with him and see what's cooking. Once I'm able to get in there. All right, there we go. We are in his coaching channel, so we'll wait for him to hop over. In the meantime, welcome in, everybody. Probably won't be reading too much chat. We're going to be giving Eli the majority of our attention, obviously. So, but welcome in, everybody. You guys get the early shouts. Court, Derek, Glockster, Chris, Devin, Obsidian, thank you. Everybody popping in. Thank you. And then, of course, for anybody clicking on this after the fact, the entire session will be staying up on the channel, so you'll be able to go back to it as you please. Unselfish, what's good? Memph, burn your bridges. Welcome in, everybody. Now's the time to get in because we're just waiting for Eli.
Yo, what's up, Cody?
What's good, man? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Excited to get rolling here. I'm actually on your file share, and it said the 10th for the first game at 9:02 a.m. And what time zone are you again? You're East, right?
Yes, East.
Okay, let me just share my screen real quick. I figure we probably need to give people a little bit of time to get into the stream too.
Yeah, for sure. So let me full screen this. I'm going to make sure I have it all squared up properly on my OBS. Bear with me here, chat. Just getting everything. Actually, that's sized pretty well. We'll leave it just like that.
Okay, I think I found it. Did you go 18 and 23 that game?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
I believe we got crushed that one. But it was like... It was what I'd say, like, with our first coaching session, this is competition that I would have been getting, like, absolutely slammed. So since then, I've improved against this competition. The team play wasn't, like, perfect, but that's why I kind of want to see what, like, how much of it was probably my fault. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, no, I can definitely tell you've made a lot of strides since the last session. I tuned into your stream yesterday, I think it was. Well, after it got uploaded, because I'm never up that early. But you went like 18 and 6 in the first game of the stream on Aquarius. I was like, dude, this guy's just farming these guys right now.
It's funny because when I solo queue now, so I play with probably mid-level Onyx players. So when we play with them, like, that's kind of like the lobbies that I find tough now. Not hard, but a little tough. And then when I go back to, like, solo queuing, it's just that's usually what ensues. But
No, it makes sense. Kind of practicing in the tougher lobbies with some of your higher ranked friends, and then when you go to solo queue, everything feels a lot easier. But I mean, honestly, you were just putting yourself in good positions. Aquarius Slayer is like a tricky one for a lot of people. People don't really know how to position themselves, or like
it's always been my kryptonite
on that. Yeah, it's definitely like a weird one. I'm not a fan of the game type, to be honest, but there is definitely an optimal way to play it. It's just a lot of essentially not letting your whole team get trapped in like a certain corner, because I notice a lot of people will just kind of move to the wrong spawn areas, like the fridge side, and then they start spawning their teammates there, and then they don't have any adjacent space to that area, so they just get collapsed on by the other team. It's really easy to get cycled on that map if you're not in good positions.
No, definitely that map's tough if you're dying a lot, for sure, because if you're always in the respawn screen, because like I've watched a lot of pros kind of discuss that map, and it's like if you have nobody in position, you shouldn't be taking gunfights, because that's how you kind of get like the 3v4 blender, the 2v4 blender, and stuff like that.
Yep, super easy to split spawns if you're a good team and can take advantage of it. Sweet. Well, I got this pulled up. Just let me know if you want to wait like a little bit longer to get people in here, or if you want to just go ahead and get started on this.
I mean, I hate to make you do it again, but I mean, for the sake of the video being up after the fact, you may as well give your
Kind of like an
resume here
intro.
on stream. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So my name's Eli, also known as Eli the Ninja. I was a Halo 2 and Halo 3 pro like 100 years ago. Used to compete in the MLG tournaments, went to like over 30 events back then. And later in my career, I kind of fell off around like the Halo 4 era. Wasn't as big a fan of that game. And then Halo 5. But I've always kind of kept up with it and watched it because, a lot of the people I used to team with, like Snipe Down, Pistola, all those guys were always crushing it. So I'd always go back and check in on them, watch those tournaments. So I've been kind of connected with the Pulse of Halo for a long time. Just last year, I got approached by G1 to be their coach and recently switched into an analyst role with the organization to kind of support the pro team and not necessarily come up with strategies. I'm part of the strategy building process. Me, Hoaxer, and Alumni are kind of like a team when it comes to that. And then obviously the players like Boo Boo Doo Boo is a great IGL. We kind of like mind meld to come up with the best way to approach different games. And then on the side, obviously I do Metafy now. I have my own Metafy page where people can buy personalized coaching. And yeah, that's what we're doing now.
And by the way, chat, I do have both the links down below in the description for Eli's Metafy and then also his Twitch. So you have to follow him on the Twitch. And then if you'd like to go check out the Metafy, check out his pricing, what he offers, the link is down there for you guys to go check out.
Appreciate that. I put yours in my stream as well, so
appreciate that.
Little cross pollination between Twitch and YouTube. I feel like the Twitch people kind of stay on Twitch and the YouTube people kind of stay on YouTube.
You mean the 3 or 4 YouTube people while all the other Halo Infinite players are on Twitch?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool though. You kind of got your own space on YouTube and like it's whatever people's preferences. So
and it's even more fun to cross over when that happens because like it seems like nobody's over here streaming the game on YouTube, so it's really cool to like interact with you guys over on Twitch because obviously I'm not there to do like anything else that goes on, but
yeah. All right, cool, man.
I think we're ready to jump in.
Do you already have my my stream pulled up here so you can see Oddball
Yep,
screen?
got it pulled up, got it full screen so we can see everything going on here. So yeah,
right,
basically, so what I want to focus here is like just the routes I'm taking to kind of get to enemies. Like I remember we talked about a little bit in our first coaching session, and I've been a little bit better about it, but it feels like I'm wasting a lot of time on the map, not just in the respawn screen, but like either getting a kill and not kind of keeping the pressure or just taking way too long routes to get around and help my teammates.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say that like the efficiency in which you get to different locations is super important. So I'm glad you picked up on that, and we can definitely hone in on that a bit. Just to give me a little more context on this game, I know you're friends with Sir Bandos.
Yep.
So you're playing with him. Do you know any of your other teammates here, DePaul?
Yeah, so DePaul, I play with once in a while. We picked him up through chat, and then Lysandre there is my buddy Brent, who I play with literally all the time, about as much as Bando. So 2 very regular players I play with, and then DePaul we just picked up as a 4th. So we're a full 4 stack basically.
Okay, perfect. So good comms. Now, when it comes to this map on the Cobra side, is this your standard opening? Like, do you like to go?
Yeah, I'll do
Okay.
the classic lucid start here where I'll throw the 2 grenades and then pick them up, and then I'll go and I'll like slow play cuts anticipating somebody to come up because somebody usually does, but
Yeah. I actually really like your opening strat here. It kind of covers a lot of different options that the other team could go for. Me personally, if I'm on the Eagle side, I like to flank wide by the OS side and then see if I can, shoot anybody that's tower. If nobody's tower, then I go straight up cut. So honestly, your opening strat might have destroyed me with nades right here.
Yeah, so see right here I actually stayed back because I think DePaul did the same thing I normally do, so I kind of tried to work around him a little bit. So I changed it up a little bit because I'll usually peek a little bit harder for the snipe, but I'll hold this same corner here because I always get smoked from either C-plat or whatever because people always like playing that OS side and getting the wrap. But
yeah, no, perfect. So I really like this a lot. I think we talked a bit about using the context of the kill feed to kind of drive our next action here, just to understand like how much freedom we actually have on the moment at any given point in time, right here, you and Bandos are the only two alive, and it's basically a 2v2, and we know where one of them is because they have the oddball. At the beginning of every live fire game, we should be hard focused on the overshield here. So the thing is, like, we don't necessarily want to motion this direction here. Our direction should be, I want to block the OS spawns because we don't want to give the other team a free spawn here and get the OS for free.
Yeah.
So already, like, not a huge fan of this like drop motion. Maybe you got this call out to this guy pillars. That's probably what happened here. Yep. Okay, but like the other guys are now spawning already. You see that guy in the outline. He spawned in A. The game chose that spawn point because his teammate was here at B.
Yeah.
You were pillars, so it's like not quite safe to spawn here. So it's spawned him somewhere adjacent to him. So it's kind of a predictable spawn if we were just paying attention to the context here. But so this is the little inflection point that I want to look at real quick though, because we almost don't care that this guy is pillars. Like, I know that when we're playing with our teammates and they're calling out a guy's pillars right here, or he's weak with sniper, like sometimes we don't care if there's something more important to do right now. And I think the more important thing to do here was to just go dummies, because what's this sniper guy gonna do if we're over here? Like, we'll end up killing him later, but we can multitask, right? We can block this spawn point and kill him later when he comes back for overshield. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I probably would have just rotated that way. It's kind of a nitpick, and like I said, it's totally understandable. You want to just go make sure this guy dies. He has the sniper, super important weapon on the map, but like, I think the overshield is just the most important thing on the map, especially at the beginning here, because if we don't get early ball time, that's going to be what breaks their setup, so we can start getting ball time. Looks like we did get fortunate. Our teammates spawned on OS, and we're actually in a good spot to wait for our teammates and break this. So this is actually going to work out, but I think it was kind of lucky that Deepal spawned on this OS.
We
so
gambled completely.
Yeah. I like this. We kind of waited a moment, and then I think we actually could have waited even longer right here, low key. Because you're so far up, and we didn't quite get our shields to start regening yet.
Yeah, that's been a bad habit of mine recently, is I've been waiting and giving myself the opportunity to get the shields back, but just going out too early.
Yeah, I kind of jumped the gun a little bit. We still got good damage on this guy. Looks like he hit some good shots. Dano should be able to clean it up. He does. And let's see where we spawn here. So I think, and like, I can't see what your death cam behaviors are, but we probably talked about death cam behaviors a little bit in the last session, where like, during the last couple seconds before you spawn, I'd like you to be cycling just to your teammates to see what's going on around the map, because that's going to give you a better, I guess, just overall picture of what's happening, so that we can make a better decision off of our spawn.
That's what I've been doing a lot, is I'll cycle through quickly to see kind of where everybody's looking and what type of action's going on, so I kind of know what direction to go in, depending on where I spawn up, obviously.
That's really good. So, and I think I did notice it on your stream actually, and that almost every time. So, we would see that Bandos is kind of on an island out at green, and our other teammates out at dummies, and the other two are dead. So it's kind of like, we need to probably, at this point, I would probably just be telling Bandos to be ready to play ball it, and I would just play with Lysandra. Or sorry if I'm saying his name right. How do you say his name?
Lysandre.
Lysandre, okay.
Yeah.
I'd be playing with Lysandre. And not even be too worried about Bandos. Like, he's probably just gonna play it, and if he does play it, then we should be ready for the new play ball. This is fine too. We actually accomplish a lot of things by going this way. You could maybe keep him alive, and even if he does play it, you could just go through pillars for the new ball.
Yeah, so right there you could see, like, off spawn, I did the little hesitation because I knew Brent was on one side, Lysandre, and then Bandos was on ball. So it's like, do I want to help over here? Do I want to help ball? But I chose the objective route, obviously, going back.
Yeah, no, I actually really like your routing here because, like I said, it accomplishes. So Halo is so important to be efficient in what you do. Like, you can often accomplish like more than one thing at the same time. You could be like going for an item and blocking spawns at the same time. You could be filling a blind spot and blocking a spawn at the same time. In this case, you were getting ready to protect the ball, and you are ready for a play ball. So it's like just moving in this direction, you can be ready for multiple like future outcomes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we have to always be thinking ahead about the future. Like, how is this going to play out? What's the worst case scenario? Like, it's a lot to think about in the moment, but if you can like correctly assess the situation and be like, okay, I could keep him alive and we could keep racking up time at B, or he might just play it and then I'll be ready to like pick up the play ball. Like, we have to be ready for both possibilities at the same time. And we are here, and like, I generally like this routing. This is all good. I would be immediately going back to nest here after I get this kill though, because my thought is like, we cleared this side. I already have a teammate here, and the next concern is going to be like, they could possibly start spawning dummies and then come this way. And I'd like to meet them here where I can shoot them back to like be applying pressure as soon as possible. Plus, this is just the weak side of the map for our team right now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that you go cuts here. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like there's some hesitation. Okay, he waves here. This is why. And then we get the call out that this guy's here. This is fine. We have a close range item. I would say that like to multitask in this moment, we should tell the ball guy to be more focused on his left side just in case somebody shows up nest bridge. We can see through the outlines that nobody's actually there, but he just needs to be aware. And then when Lysandre spawns there, he can feel more confident that nobody's on that side.
Yeah.
So this is all good. This is a good milk. But I have the spoiler alert. This game goes south eventually, so we'll see where it breaks down. Yeah, I do notice a little hesitation off of this spawn point. We should just be like going straight to DPaul here. Yeah, this is good. Probably nading the ball. Yep. Just a little micro thing here. Let's see where these nades actually blow up. They did blow up on the ball. If you bounce it off of this wall, it can go a little bit deeper to where, like, if they're on the way to the ball, it would hit them.
Okay, yeah, my thought process was hitting the pillar to get it like onto the ball.
Yeah, either one's fine. I just think that like if they haven't grabbed the ball yet, they're probably on the way, right? So it makes more sense to nade the opposite side.
Okay.
Kind of a nitpick though, not a big deal.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where we just got to be careful, right? Like, we don't want to start getting cycled to the point where we're never all alive at the same time to make a good push. Like, we kind of have to work together off of our spawn point and find a kill together. And of course, we spawn here. So, I mean, our only option really is to work with Bandos, in my opinion. Like, Lysandre is probably dead here. Yeah, looks like we decided to run with Bandos. Okay, this is good. He does the jump. I like that you're choosing this route because you can probably clean up some damage that Lysandre started.
Yeah, this
Overshield's about to be up.
The spreading the map and eating up more routes. This is what we went over in the our first session.
100%. No, it was a really good rotation there. Just that little bit of damage and pressure you applied just made their lives so much harder to get this overshield. And I want to just backtrack this a little bit for anybody that missed the first session to explain why this was such a good play by Cody. Like, look at where his teammates are here. So he's already got 2 players tower, and then one teammate's way over here on an island. He's very likely to die, but we're assuming he's dealing some damage, right? So, and the overshield's going to be up in about 10 seconds. So if Cody just goes the same route as his teammates this way, they're all going to be shooting in the same direction, which means the other team only has to play defense in one direction. So instead, what Cody does is he says, you know what? If I start applying pressure to them from a different direction at the same time, now my teammates are going to have more freedom to move up because they're going to have to turn and respond to what I'm doing. So this is a really good play. In general, before the overshield comes up on this map, if you have both the A plat sandbags area and the C plat area, you kind of control. You can just pinch the overshield really easily, and then your next biggest concern would be key door because a lot of people like to sit here and bait the overshield. But yeah, this was an excellent push, and it's going to make our team a lot more likely to get the overshield. Maybe not guarantee it, but this was really good timing. Even this, getting this guy one shot takes him out of the play completely. Now he has to back up, which should give our teammates more space. I would say you could have stayed here a little bit longer. I mean, you really only got shot once. I think we might have been a little paranoid that another guy was going to show up on the A plat area. But like you could have realistically just full sent it and like guaranteed at least one kill here and some extra damage. It would have been fine, but this is good too, honestly. Just barely missed the shot there. But it looks like we did get the overshield. I would say that was your doing to get that overshield, so that was really good there.
Yep.
All right, so we're still not really stable here. Bandos.
Yeah, unfortunate rotation. We kind of rotated
Yeah.
opposite ways there.
Let me actually take a closer look at this rotation. So yeah, we knew that they were in A. Bandos grabs the ball.
Yeah, OS pushed the weak 2 on scoreboard, and Bandos took it towards C. So we're kind of not like focusing our efforts here.
Yeah, I would say that as Bandos here, better play would definitely be to just kind of juggle, like dribble the ball towards screens with the OS guys, so you guys can like kill these guys and block these spawns at the same time. It's actually, and a lot of people don't think this way, especially in like the lower ranks, like gold and platinum. They always want to run away from enemies, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you want to take the objective towards the enemies, kill them, and then keep moving to take the space that they were already in. And oftentimes that's the best way. Like with flag, for example, like running the flag towards enemies is actually a good thing in certain situations. It obviously depends a lot on where the damage is and the timing of the spawns, but this would have been a good time to just dribble the objective towards them, finish the kills, and then hold it here.
Yeah.
Plus, we already had a guy here at B, it looks like, and he could block this spawn, which if you have an A setup, you usually always want to have the B blocked as well, since this is where, you know, enemies could easily just walk in and break a setup. And you can rotate the ball here so we can play it later if things go south. So I feel like I've been talking a lot. Did you want to say or add anything to that?
No, I'm
Okay.
I'm just sponging it in right now. But you are doing a good job, I will say, for anybody watching, like kind of not just filling in what we talked about in the first one, but also like kind of pitching it as like lower ranks don't really think about this, and then kind of going more in depth past like just my gameplay alone.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about in every single game of Halo. Like this game is incredibly complex. That's why we all love it, right? Because it's almost like you'll never stop learning.
No, exactly.
Now, I actually really like your play here. I'm a little worried this is early though. I feel like your movement is what you need to be doing to support Lissandre's action, but we're kind of fighting uphill, and our next spawner is pretty far behind, unless he hits a couple slides to catch up. Yeah, like I would say as Lissandre, he should probably, he could just like honestly sit and wait right here. I watch a lot of Optic gameplay, and like they'll literally just send a guy here, like APG or Trippy is usually the guy that's first in on their formations. He'll just sit here and just be like, I'm waiting for you guys, I'm waiting for you guys. And then like the next guy will be making this motion to cuts, and then they have another guy here, so that by the time everybody's up and ready, they can just basically hit the go switch and they all are pushing at the same time. And that's why Optic is so powerful to play against, is because they never have a push that looks like this. Like this guy should not be this far up. And like letting his location be known before we're in good positions. He did kind of slow down and go this way. Against a better team, he would have been punished for this action. I feel like the tower guy would have seen him and shot him sooner, but we're also, yeah, we kind of just pushed
out in the
open. I don't know. This whole push, we were not like very coordinated. Now this is where like communication is so important in this situation. So think about this for a second. Every time-based game type, there's 3 time-based game types. There's strongholds, there's King of the Hill, and there's oddball, right? So any time that we spend not correctly breaking a setup is just more time for the other team. Like they're just going to get more time. So that makes it so important that we make our first push be the one that works, because every failed push is probably another 20-30 seconds of ball time for them guaranteed, and we can't really afford that. And like you only do that, what 2 bad pushes and they're already close to winning the rounds. Like this push has to work. So if you're this player and you see this happening and you're like, okay, I don't know about this push. I see a X on our team screen. Like, I need to tell Lysandre to slow down. Just wait a second. Like, don't expose yourself yet. You could even make a play call here to like distract on one side but push another. So for example, you could say, hey, I'm going to distract on the right side, and you could just play like way out here and start shooting like tower or C plat, but you play it in a way that like you're not going to die. You're just like kind of poking them. And then while you're doing this and distracting them, then somebody hits top mid, somebody goes wide by nest, like grabs the repulse, which is up, by the way, nobody's grabbing it. And then repulse is up, and then suddenly they're shooting two guys in the side of the head that's looking at you out here.
Yeah.
So like one of the most important parts of Oddball and being good at this is obviously knowing how to hold the setup when you have the ball, but also most effectively breaking the setup when the other team has the setup. And that's why these are the moments that are probably most important in a single game of Oddball, because if we don't break this now, they're just going to get so close to winning this round.
So I will say, and we went over this in the first session, is timing. Timing is definitely like one of the hardest things to get down, even with like players you play with all the time, unless you're doing the chatter, like you said, like having somebody wait. But our oddball breaks are definitely the main problem. This game is doing like the 3 push or like the 2 push, and then it's like as the time trickles down, then it's like, okay, we have to make one good push. But like you're saying, you have to make that one good push before it's crunch time, rather than making bad pushes and then being like, okay, now we have to make a full push. Like, because that's,
Yeah.
I think that's what you're about to see here in these next 2 rounds a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try to like diagnose where the push broke down so that maybe you and anybody watching can like better assess the situation on how to actually push in these situations. So what a good push looks like is typically timed well, which means you're entering multiple lines of sight at the same time as your teammates so that the enemy has to respond to pressure from multiple angles simultaneously. If you're this guy tower and you take a couple of shots from this guy and then you try to hide from this guy, and now you're taking shots from a guy top mid, and then you go here to try to hide from that guy, and then you're getting shot from a guy nest, like you hate your life, right?
Yeah.
So like you want the other team to hate their life. So you want to you want to be in these positions so that they don't have any escape options, you know? And so to make sure they don't have any escape options, we have to be spread out, but also entering these lines of sight at the same time. So then that's why I really like to play that Optic does a lot. They'll just send a guy right here for a second and he just waits. And like, sure, the meta is advancing to the point where like top teams are predicting this to happen, and now they're like pre-nating this spot because they know if they have a setup, like Trippy very well might just be waiting here. But in these lobbies, like this is going to work. Like people aren't going to just predict you to be here. So if you're the first spawner and you can get here safely, like this is cool. Just sit right here, say, I'm waiting for you guys. I'm waiting for you guys. And then wait till your teammates start shooting on this side. And then you know that these guys are going to turn and look at him. And then now you swing out and you're ready to shoot the same guy or just push into their face, you know, cut them off on their way out. Hopefully our teammates are following up in the good spots too. Like you don't have to wait for the perfect push, but you just want it so that like the first 2 guys, you don't ever want to just be one guy that's announcing to the world where you are and just getting team shot by their whole team. You want to have at least 1, ideally 2 teammates at the same time to start the push. And then the last guy, if he's just aggressive off his spawn, can probably finish up on some damage if he takes a good route. So those are some of the like conditions for a good push. This was, I would say, where this one broke down was honestly, you like Lysandre probably advanced too far too quickly, which encouraged you to kind of expose yourself more than you otherwise would have because he's so pushed up. And then you just got focus fired because they're all looking at you and nobody else.
Yeah. And that leads to me going down while they're pushing up and Bandos is spawning, so it's seemingly a 2v4 in some regards.
Yeah, a miracle kind of has to happen for this to work because now we don't have any complementary angles. We're like the only 2 surviving teammates are kind of in the same line. There's no better angles to team shoot, and our last guy is all the way back here, sandbag. So don't expect this one to work out. We'll see how it looks from your POV. Okay, Sundry dies. Still haven't got a kill yet. All right, we got a trade, and Banos is one shot. And this guy's pushing our spawn. So shout out to this guy. This guy's actually making a good push here. He got all the way around the push. And this is a play that I make a lot when I'm playing, is like, if your team has the ball set up like this, and then you push out a different side, you're basically simplifying the equation, right? Like, instead of the other team being able to spawn here and A, now suddenly they can really only spawn like OS and A. So after you block the spawns, you know where they're spawning, you just continue out. Now you're shooting them in the side while they try to push your team. So it's actually a good play by this guy. Let's go back to our spawn point and see how we're dealing with this. Yeah, once again, I feel like we just kind of have to wait.
Yeah,
I like that we're doing
my location to that guy who's now rapping to me, Keydor, it seems.
Yeah, we have to really be sneaky out for spawn point, especially if, like, okay, first push didn't work. We don't really have much damage on the map to follow up on. Like, off of this spawn point, like, my thought is, like, I don't want all of us to spawn here and then just funnel this way, because it's really easy for them to play defense against from high ground, and they can just rotate it this way and outplay us.
Yeah,
like,
they have
easily.
like 80% of the map in their control at that point.
So if you're this guy, like, it's probably better as the, and this is another rule I think we might have talked about last time, but if you're the first spawner, you usually want to take the longest route, because by the time the rest of your team spawns, you're in a good formation.
Yep.
So as the first spawner, in this case, the longest route would be to go this way, because we want to clear space. Like, this guy was getting behind us. We want to be able to flush this guy out if he's there. There could also be a guy that decides to flank through big door. Like, as you go higher in matchmaking, there's going to be players making these kind of plays like this guy's making. Like, they're not all going to just sit over here with the oddball and hold hands. They're going to be applying pressure to spawners like this guy. So because that's the meta, as you, like, go higher in the diamond and onyx lobbies, like, you have to start clearing space off of your spawn point that's next to you, because we don't want that guy's play to, we want this guy's play to be like a negative thing, not a positive thing. So if we can pick this guy, then it's a lot easier for us to push. So yeah, I think over this spawn point, we should have been trying to, like, clear space on the left side, maybe even go all the way to big door, and then kind of spread out our teammates' potential spawn points, give us some more space on the map so we can make an effective push later. But instead, we just kind of walk forward.
Yeah, and that's it's the tunnel vision for the oddball.
I'm gonna pause real quick. I've been kind of ignoring my chat for a bit just to stay locked in.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm gonna mute real quick.
All right, chat. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Appreciate all y'all. I am reading all the chats. I'm just trying not to read them out loud in Eli's ear, because I'm trying to be undivided attention here. But if anybody has questions or anything, if you have a good question, feel free to throw it out there, because I'll just cut them off and read it out loud. But thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Appreciate you.
All right, sweet. So we saw that this push is already not looking great either. And now we are back in the cycle. All right. So yeah, I mean, this is, at some point in the comms, somebody's got to, like, cut this out. This is such a common thing that happens, where, like, we're just spawning up and holding forward, trying to follow up on some damage that somebody dealt, but it's never really amounting to anything. It looks like we might be finally at a point where we're slowing down just by this little crouch I'm seeing here. Somebody might have said, like, okay, slow it down. Let's make a good push here. Feels like DePaul is consciously playing a little slower here. He thinks somebody's at B. Okay, yeah, this feels like everyone kind of consciously down pick. All right, and we do get that pick. And we're in actually pretty good positions now. So they're focused on you. We've got teammates that, well, one's all the way back at B, and then we have one teammate that's back tower that ideally could get, like, flank while they're focused on you. Get a one gut. So once again, our timing was off here though. Like after you get your kill, you should still be kind of like conscious of how long it's going to be before we can push. Like, yes, we got this pick, but we're still not really ready, I don't think. Like I would think that backing up right here and still getting some more safe damage, just like poking, like I said, there's a lot of value in just poking without putting yourself at risk of dying. And right here, we could have just poked these guys at tower and then waited for this guy to get a little bit closer. If you give this guy time to wrap over here, and you're still poking them, and they're all looking at you, then this guy's push is going to be way more effective.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? If you die here, they can all just turn and look at him.
Exactly. Killing us one at a time.
Mm-hmm. But if you're still alive and they're still worried about you, then his push is way more effective. So it's kind of the value in staying alive here. I think we wanted the sniper, and maybe we thought we had more help than we did. Bandos didn't get an ideal spawn point, so he's not really able to quickly help either of us unless somebody shows up like Nestbridge. And he's like clearing B. He's not even like thinking about its push time.
Yeah.
Like there needs to. Or go ahead.
I also need to have the awareness where I'm pretty much the only one shooting right now. Besides, I had Lysandre behind me, but I can kind of assume that there's 2 to 3 players looking at my lane. So I should have been aware of that and backed up rather than moving more into the lane. Because now they're all staring there, calling me out, knowing that I'm there. Meanwhile, nobody's in position to do any shooting, like you said, with D-Paul wrapping back tower.
Yeah, our timing with our teammates has just been really, really off here. And it is the hardest skill in Halo, in my opinion, just like knowing how to have good timing in different situations, like knowing quickly when it's go time and not hesitating and just going for it. But in my opinion, good Halo is about pace control. So there's times in the game where you have to slow down, and there's times in the game when you have to speed up. And the way that you manage that with a good team is through communication. So we have to kind of all have it's go time language that we use. What like, let's fucking go. I don't care like what it actually is, but like whatever you have to say to get everybody motivated to push, like use that when it's go time. And then, all right, slow it down, like when we don't really have angles yet. And then during the slow it down time, everybody should be kind of talking about what they're doing so that people can fill in space easier during those moments. So you could say like, okay, so slow down. All right, I'm waiting sandbags. Okay, Bando spawns. Hey, I spawn green. I'm grabbing the spikes. All right, I'm walking up. All right, I'm going to throw spikes. Tower. I'm spiking tower. Once you hear that, then you're like, okay, I'm pushing top mid. You know what I mean? So like that kind of communication is what you hear from Optic. They're always talking about what they're doing so that their teammates can time their actions better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and it takes a lot of effort and it's not easy to do, but once you start doing it, you'll kind of like get in the flow and like thought process of thinking that way. Like, okay, I'm only going to push when I know it makes sense and I have support from my teammates. And then like if you're the last guy spawning and you hear all that push going on, you're like, all right, I spawned here, I'm going cuts. And then you just push super fast. And then bam, now we've got 3 lanes that are being attacked and pressured at the same time. So definitely work on those kind of things with your teammates when it comes to communication.
Yeah, we do have Brent in chat. He says our comms are lazy some mornings, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And it's more like calling out players in one shots, less than like chattering and being like, let's push this, slow down, all that stuff. We'll wait till we're like at this score, like at 85, and then that's when we'll be like, we have to make a good push, and then by then it's like, you have 15 seconds to set it up and the round's over.
Yeah. No, it's super common. And I'll just say, all right, so this is kind of like not about Halo, but it relates a lot about Halo, is as human beings, we're very like habitual creatures, right? Like if we do one thing, we're likely to do it again. That's just kind of how we are as humans. So like the way that you guys have been playing these situations is habitual at this point. Like that's just what you do. Like you spawn up, you chase a one shot. If you die, you spawn up and you try to do it again. But it's like the only way to break out of a habit is to make like a conscious decision ahead of time. So like, and I'll challenge you to do this. I don't know if you're going to play after this session, or if you're going to wait till tomorrow. I know you said you had some things to do, but whenever you're about to play next and you have like a group of 4, like before the game even starts, just be like, hey guys, look, I want us to use communication today that like helps us time our pushes with each other so that people can start thinking about it. Cause like, it's really easy to just be like talking to chat and like start up the game or talking to your friends, just shooting the shit about, whatever's been going on. Unless you shake yourself out of those habits, like, and you make a conscious decision to like flip a switch, like you're not going to start these good habits. So like the only way we're going to break these habits is if we force ourselves to have good habits until those become our default habits. Does that make sense?
Oh, 1000%. You are literally describing me every single live stream.
So yeah, just like shake yourself. Sometimes you just have to shake yourself out of it. And I feel like that's one thing that I try to bring to my teams, especially if I'm playing with people I've not really played with before. I try to prime their brain before the game even starts. Like, okay, during this game, we're gonna focus on doing X, Y, and Z. All right. Like, I don't know, pit flag, for example. Let's try to hold like long haul and green side and start running the flag through green and long haul. And like, if we have a flag that's running long haul, let's block their mauler. I'm saying all this as the game's loading up, just so people can start thinking like, okay, that's what the game plan is in the middle of the game, so that they don't have to think about it as much.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, sorry, I needed some water.
All good.
All right, so we're still in the blender here. We actually have, looks like 2 dead on the map. So, and the overshield's about to be up. So I would be thinking like we should be able to get this OS, but we also ideally would like to play this ball at the same time if possible. Looks like Bandos is the only person. Okay, never mind. I thought the ball was back tower. Okay, so the ball's bottom mid. This is actually a good situation for us. I think we just have to send everybody to overshield, but keep an eye on the ball. In this situation, if you're this player, Bandos, and overshield's coming up, you could actually just grab the ball and like juggle it towards OS so that it's still in you guys' line of sight, and then just play for OS. And then after we get the OS, then we can come back and pick it up. But like, if you just leave the ball down here and play for OS, suddenly like somebody on the other team could just spawn green, come in here and snag it and run away. We don't want that to happen. So I think a good play by Banos, just juggle the ball out into the open before the overshield comes up, and then just everybody play for OS. We'll try to secure some kills and then get a setup, because that's really the only way that we're going to come back in this game.
Yeah.
Is to have an extended hold. So let's see how this plays out. Still have 2 dead here. Okay, they did grab the ball and juggle it out. Yeah, here, yeah, just juggle it towards OS. This is all really good. Yep. Nice. So here to prevent this little situation too is comms. Like, if somebody just says that's my OS like ahead of time, then maybe we don't both jump up for it. It's kind of a micro thing, but it still comes back to efficiency, right? Like, if you say that you're the OS guy, then the other player can fill in where he's most effective.
Yeah, rather than wasting our time with 3 of us jumping up onto the pad at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's another efficiency thing. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal, but it's a way that we should start thinking about using comms to be more efficient in a variety of different scenarios. Okay, so I don't mind this. I think as an overshield guy, I'd be definitely trying to find spawners. I think your idea is to go nest here and cut them off on the right side. This is actually looking pretty good for us in a few different ways. So in general, the way I think about an oddball setup is it's kind of a formation, right? If you want the ball guy to be one of the center 2, and then the guys that are controlling the outer wings of the setup, so this guy would be an outer wing and you would be an outer wing, those players are applying pressure to anyone that's trying to get to your ball guy. So in this case, it's kind of your job to fill in this right gap and keep enemies from approaching the ball on this side. You can confidently do so because you have the overshield. And it's this guy to be a nuisance on the other side and basically shoot people in the back that are trying to get to your ball guy.
Yeah.
So this is overall like looking pretty good for us to get some time here if we play it right. I don't know why we're running the ball top mid though. This was kind of strange. Because now we're unable to like get extended ball time.
Yeah, we're 4 up and we're not even holding the ball.
Yeah. Yo, Shenny, thank you for the raid. We're doing a quick we're doing a live coaching session with above average Cody, so I'm not super focused on chat right now. But I appreciate it. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. All right, so yeah, like I said, I think right here, Bando's throwing the ball top mid kind of screwed us. He should just be running it straight to C. Like if he just runs to C plat here and he rounds this corner and he just goes right here, like you could even be jumping tower and just watching his back from here and simultaneously watching nest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this also definitely could have been some busted comms too, because definitely like with the OS talk as well. I mean, we gave them what, basically like 70 free points in this game, so I'm sure the comms weren't exactly upbeat, I
Yeah.
suppose. It's still early in the game, but it happens when you're in the blender for sure.
Yeah. It's a direct result of just not taking our time in those first couple pushes. But I mean, we're still not out of it though. Like, I mean, 40 points, that's like the other team making one bad push and then you guys just holding it. But when we threw the ball top mid, it's like, this is where the other team wants the ball to be because they can just nade it and kind of contest it really easily. And now we're like, now we have to secure the map before we can get ball time comfortably. And here, yeah, this is actually good. Just like get the ball out of there. Now we have to wait for our shields. We still have an extra sticky grenade from before, so we actually just picked up one sticky, which is interesting. Okay, man. That was probably a frustrating situation right
Oh, yeah.
there. You were one shot for like a whole minute. Miss you too, Shenny. Thanks again for the raid. All right, so with our ball here, we should be just like essentially coming up with a game plan. We have to clear space for the ball guy, but we also need to watch the ball guy's back. So like right here, I think that at least one of us can actually run the other way and start getting behind them on this side. While our team clears like sandbags. The problem is we're all low right here. So I would also like somebody like screens and then get up here if possible. This guy's about to mess with us from Hedor though. Let's see how quickly we identify him. Okay. All right, nice shots. Yeah, definitely got to wait for your shield here. Yeah, it's okay to get ball shields coming up. That's good. But now you're on the outer wing of the formation, so... And we know we're probably about to face pressure. The thing is, we have numbers here. It looks like we just killed 2. We should be able to comfortably play defense against this, honestly. But yeah, this is kind of what happens when you're the outer wing, is like...
They can easily go in, and then I'm forced to do what I can, basically, to get damage in.
Yeah, and it's like, if you're the outer wing, you're usually the first guy to see enemy. And the ball guy should never be in danger of like dying from this position. Like if you're the outside, if you're gonna use your eyes as the ball guy, like you should be in a position that you could run away from the enemy you see, right? Like I like to play back here on this pillar because then you can see if this guy pushes on this side, and then you can see if somebody approaches from key door. But like as the outer wing, we should not be holding this spot as the ball guy. Like a teammate could be here while we hold on the other side, so that if you do see someone, you can drop it and team shoot it together. But like, start thinking about your like where you fit into the formation as the ball guy, and just try to be on the inside and have a teammate covering your outside. So now, like, we were actually in a pretty good spot, but we stayed kind of claustrophobic in here, honestly. Or I'm getting claustrophobic watching our setup. Like we're not really pushing out on the map where it's like by the time any enemies show up, they're already applying pressure from like several spots. Like I really don't like this A setup. And this is a common thing I see in diamond lobbies, honestly, is people hold the ball in here and their whole team is in garage. Like this doesn't really work very often, because look how much space the other team can just walk up like for free. Like this guy walked all the way here, another guy walked all the way to the, like they can walk into big door. And we're not responding to pressure, and so they're already in our house. Literally, this place is called house. But like if you had one guy that just pushed over here earlier, you remember I said as we rotate the ball this way, I was like, somebody could have gone this way, right? If somebody did that, he could be getting behind them like during this push by now. You see how that would have played out?
Yeah, and
if
they
we did
wouldn't
send a guy this way?
just be walking right in, because they wouldn't want to push with somebody behind them.
Exactly. So you apply pressure to this guy, then this guy comes here. He's anybody that's approaching on this side. Then maybe he can rotate this way, force a spawn on dummies. Then now he's getting behind them again. Like you can really make the other team's life hard just by playing up on the map away from your team. When we all stick together, like the other team's not experiencing any pressure until they're already in here. Yeah, like we didn't even know this guy was here yet. Like, I don't know. We should have just been rotating this towards B. And then I had a teammate that covered this outside. If he didn't see anybody, then he could have felt free to like push up cuts. But like by this time, it's just too late. That's why it's important to start spreading out like at the very beginning of the hold.
Yeah.
All right, so the game is spawning us way over here, so we know the other team is very likely to all be near our teammates. Yeah, we didn't really have any options. The round is ending here. All right, so let's see how round 2 goes. Let's see what your opening strat. I really liked your opening strat on the other side. I want to see what you've cooked up on this one. Good nades. Just using all 4 nades. I think that like instinctually, when I see my whole team went left side, like I'm just gonna probably perch here for a second and like just see if anybody pushes on OS, especially if I hear these grenades going off. Okay, yeah, dropping bottom mid is good too. But yeah, we weren't really thinking about this blind spot at the OS, which we always need to, because people like to push that. Yeah. So this is another kind of backtrack from the lesson last time, was using your imagination to fill blind spots. So right here, if you're this player and you turn and you see your whole team is on one side of the map, like you just kind of have to trust that they're going to manage their own business and like handle whatever goes on over there. And it's kind of your job to identify if somebody is coming from the other side. So I would like, these nades are fine. The problem is like we're throwing all 4 nades at one spot that like it just kind of zones them out from getting the sniper. It doesn't really get a kill very often.
Yeah.
You'd be pretty lucky to get a kill here. I would rather save my nades for anybody that shows up on my right since I'm alone, but it does take some coordination before the round even starts to like talk about what you're going to do, and there's not much time to do it. So I know that we're probably checked, we just lost a round, but if you can try to refocus everybody. This is another one of those habit things I talked about. So like the habit a lot of people have is to kind of moan and groan after they lose the first round, or they'll just say something generic like, all right, we got it this round. You know what I mean? Which like, it's cool. It's like positive reinforcement,
It's not
but
very
what's
objective.
yeah, exactly. Like if we're forward thinking and we want to make sure we start off the next round well, we should just be talking about like what we're doing and where we're going. So obviously I don't think we did that. I will give you a little tip though. What I do at the start is I'll go this way, and then I aim really high so that my grenade bounces off of right here, and then it comes down and it blows up about right here. And what it does is it catches anybody that's going this way, and they just eat the grenade right here. And then they're either gonna like go this way when they're one shot, or I'm also pushing at the same time. So a lot of times I'll just get a nade shot kill right here, and then I can just like push up cuts, and it's like a lot more freedom than otherwise.
Yeah.
Whereas like these nades, I don't think lead to much very often. As you can see, like we just threw 4 nades that did literally nothing.
Yeah, and they can just hang back and wait for them to blow up, and then they're free to go.
Exactly. But at the same time, we also ignored this huge blind spot, and like this is a common route that people go. That's why I have my opening strat, is because it kind of like I can do this on one side and pretty comfortably hold off this side by myself unless they decide to send their whole team here. And if they decide to send their whole team here, then that's fine with me anyways, because now my team can just take space on the other side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it kind of like accomplishes a lot of goals at the same time.
Yeah, and then I pay for the blind spot side there.
Yep. But at the same time, like if we were talking before the round started, I don't think we would have sent 3 people that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely not.
Okay, so the other team doesn't really have a setup. We actually have 2 dead here, and OS is up in 3 seconds. I would like for you to go all the way to sandbags here, just because Lissandre is already there. This is fine too, but if you go sandbags, you can apply pressure to spawners that are going to shoot at your guy that goes for overshield, because it's very likely they start spawning in garage here. This guy spawned right here. So like off of this spawn point, like the way I'm always thinking about every single overshield as it comes up is like, okay, I want C and I want sandbags, right? So, because I want to approach the overshield from both sides.
Yeah.
And right here, Lissandre is already on that side, and I'm assuming teammates are spawning around Lissandre. So if you just go to sandbags here, like sure, you might die sometimes by a guy that just shows up big door randomly, but when the overshield's about to be up in a lobby that's pretty good, everyone's going to be focused on this overshield. And if you're going over here and you're like able to shoot these guys, like you might even pick off a one shot that's about to proc the OS here a lot of the time just by making this action. And then you can save your team and get the OS just because you took like this angle that we didn't have yet. This is fine too, though. I think in general, like if you and one teammate are kind of alone on the map, getting to that one teammate is usually always a good thing. Oh my God, let's watch that in first person real quick.
Yeah, it's been weak. No.
Nasty.
Nasty.
Dirty.
Looking like you out there, bro.
Nah, I don't usually hit no scopes that far, honestly.
So here my
Alright,
thought was the key door push to kind of get that angle, but like I'm later than your thought process. So your thought would have been get that angle at sandbags earlier. I had that thought process, but later, and then obviously down key door, but
yeah. And I don't know if this is our shroud or theirs, but the shroud, like, I don't know, it makes this whole play a lot harder to the point where, like, at this point too, off of this spawn point, if I'm the guy going to sandbags, I might say, do we have shroud? Do we have shroud? Like, just to kind of make sure it's not just sitting there, because we can use it pretty effectively from our angles. And if they shroud it, like if your teammate shrouds it while they're close to it, and then you go this way, like you cut off anybody that approaches from the right. If that makes sense.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is solid too. It looks like they end up getting the OS though. Yeah, the thing is, like right here too, like after we know they got the overshield, we should be picking a safer spot to like melt the overshield.
Yeah, rather than waiting for him just to come and kill me.
Yeah, like just, I don't know. An overshield's really not that big of a deal if we are just safely team shooting the guy. You know what I mean? Like if we just go into A and clear this side, like first of all, the oddball is sitting right here, right? I would be running like through here and seeing if I can clear space or be annoying in A. And if I just get one pick, now we have space both in front and behind the oddball, which means like we can start to like have the first formation of an actual setup. It's just having space on both sides. But this is fine. I mean, we're dying. We're just all low here. We're not going to get much space from here. No one's really pushing aggressively anywhere. Like it's okay to push aggressively to get space or like high ground. I don't know. I just hate this right now. Like we're all just fighting
bundled together.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think you realized you had a charger repulse there. Could have done a little bit more in that situation. Wait, did you? Yeah, you had a one charger repulse. Man. Could have maybe repulsed that guy. That's just a cluster down there. Okay, so as this guy, he's the last alive to just like keep applying pressure. Like they're almost the whole game is dead right now. Yeah, I like that he baited the ball here. Oh, sorry, that's on the other team, isn't it? Yeah. Nice. Wow, he got shit on. Okay, so here again, like feeling kind of claustrophobic off of the spawn point. We do have a kill on the map. Like we should be confidently grabbing the ball, bringing it back into A, starting a rotation towards B. Somebody should be clearing out space at B. Like we need to be thinking ahead and like maybe starting to rotate the ball this way. I feel like we're playing like too safe here. Like, this is a 4v3 when we spawn. We just got a kill. We should be like pushing. Like this is an example of recognizing that you have an advantage and getting the most out of it. And I feel like right here we were just hesitant. Like we're in a 4v3. Why are we playing so safe? Full shields. Okay, Lysandre's one shot. And then like there's this guy. I don't know. We're just playing too safe. Somebody needs to take the initiative and just like start pushing this way and like make this guy's life hard, start pushing him back so that we can start moving in, grab the ball and run it back in, right?
Yeah, because the longer we play slow, the more they're just gonna eat up more of the map.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure out why we're so cautious here.
Yeah, now
we finally
get
get
the ball back.
here. But it's like it's too late. Look where they are.
Exactly.
Like, all right, so we'll talk again about the kill feed, right? Like the kill feed, you can't see it in theater mode, but it's I have my font on extra large. So I went into my settings, accessibility, text size extra large. And the reason for this is not because I'm old and blind, but it's so that it's covering up so much of my screen that I'm never gonna not know. Yeah, I'm never gonna not know what's going on the map. If my teammate gets a kill, it's so large on my screen that like I see it.
And we have been better, at least I have been better about calling out advantages or disadvantages, but like like I said here, the comms could have just been lazy or what have you, but yeah, when I spawned up, I should have known. Especially since I'm in the respawn screen, like I have nothing better to do than analyze what's going on while I'm respawning, so
100%. Yeah, like we just wasted a lot of time. We should have been pushing space somewhere, making like a two-man push. Like you and Bandos could like imagine if you and Bandos recognized that you had an advantage and you guys just flew out this way and just team shot the shit out of this guy, and then you just continue on, you get behind these guys, kill them, and then like once Lysandre gets his shield back, he just comfortably grabs the ball and he's chilling. Maybe we start pushing out B, he rotates it this way. Somebody's like confidently pushing out Nest. Like we should be holding forward in these situations, but
and one
I
thing
think we kind
I
of
want
lost our
to
good.
point out on like my play here is like I'm talking about like stat lines and like how I'm like wasting time. I'm super hesitant off this spawn. Like you're saying like we should all be pushing out. If you watch me off the spawn, I like go down like I'm gonna push out, then I back up, then I jump up here, and like I'm doing nothing right now. Like I'm not. Yeah. And like you said, we have the advantage, so to be just like hiding back here and like walking back and forth is completely useless. And then I walk, you know, I take the ball, and then now I'm like, oh crap, I need to get this out of there, and we're already getting collapsed on. So
yeah, I mean, you did a really good job to get this kill, and then coming back to help. I like that we're still like fighting here because DePaul is pulling their attention. So you're like, okay, let me treat this guy. Like, you didn't just run away. Kind of stayed in a position to like keep helping. So like I think the best time to fight when you're one shot is if your teammate has their attention. So like a lot of the time people will be like, why'd you reach out? You're one shot. But in this case, it was actually good because your teammate has their attention. They're not looking at you. So this was actually, I really like this. You're still playing like pretty safe around the screen and this wall here. So you could have like, you know, escaped if you needed to. Good tactical awareness to just kind of like put this guy in checkmate. Like if he goes left, Paul will kill him. If he goes right, you will kill him. Like this guy has no options basically. So really well played in the micro between you guys. And like we actually made a lot out of a situation that did not look good like 15 seconds ago. So props to you guys. And it's because you guys worked so well tactically just around your cover. You know, while one of you is weak, the other is coming out and shooting. Like that whole situation was really well played. But now we like we still need to get the most out of our good plays, right?
Yeah.
Like, just somebody needs to grab the ball. We should be talking to each other a little bit. This guy spawned way over here at C, which should have been the telltale sign that like enemies are pushing on this side.
Yeah.
So another quick thing is like where you spawn oftentimes tells you where the enemies are. So like if you're this guy and you spawn here when your teammates are in A, you can almost guarantee that people are at B. Like I would say 95% of the time it's because people are at B and pushing. Like this guy bottom mid is keeping you from spawning in A because he's like motioning this direction. So as this spawner on this side, Bandos could say, hey, I spawned C, they're going to come from B. Like just using the context of your own spawn point to give your teammates a better picture of what's going on the map. And then honestly, I don't mind the going top mid, but I would actually even take like the wider perimeter spot here. And like, if I know they're spawning B, like I'll just walk here and shoot these guys in the back. Like they hate their life. They're going to be way less effective on their push now because of that. And it's going to give my team the freedom to get some ball time here.
Yeah.
So, all right, we know this guy's here. All right, I like that you're finally grabbing the ball.
And with
Problem
this,
is we're still one dead.
and we're bringing the ball towards the pinch, kind of, because if we were aware of that spawn, we probably could have grabbed ball and rotated it like away from where the pressure was coming from. But instead, we're kind of just like I'm just standing here with the ball, and now the people from B are just flying over to me, and now I'm in no man's land here with the ball.
Yeah, I'll give another good rule of thumb for oddball is the safest place to take the oddball is usually where your team last spawned, because the game picks spawn points based on how safe it is, right? So if your teammate spawns somewhere, that area is probably safe. Not always, because this game can be a little crazy sometimes. And if you're blocking everything, like you can spawn near enemies, but it's pretty rare. So like right here, Bandos' spawn does so many things for us that like until we're aware about this, we're not gonna get the full value out of this. Like just by him spawning here, it should be okay, we know where they are and we know where it's safe to take the ball. And then this guy can just instantly become the outer wing of the setup and just rotate this way to like apply pressure on this side. He knows that they're over here if he's paying attention, and he can tell the ball, hey, rotate it to C. I spawned at C. Like you can just, this one spawn point gives us so many things that we need to know about the context of the map right now. So if you're this guy, like you can be the one that directs traffic. Be like, I spawned C, they must be coming from B. I'm gonna go fight nest, take the ball to C. Like you could say all of that simply by spawning here. And a lot of people don't realize that their spawn point is giving them that much context about the situation. Okay. Yeah, so at this point, it's a little bit late. We kind of want to do as much scenario at this point because we were too slow to recognize the situation. Now we left the ball at the overshield when overshield's about to come up.
Free setup.
Yeah, we gave them a free setup, free OS. If they just are paying attention, they're going to get a lot of time out of this. And this is definitely a spot where we have to be careful on our push. Like we have to take a little bit more time. We still have a lot of time because they only have 14 seconds, right? So like we have the time to make a good push here. Him having the heat wave is actually kind of like our saving grace right now. So we're not fighting as uphill of a battle, but this is still going to be an uphill battle off of this spawn. Okay, so in our death screen, we saw this starting to happen. I think my instinct would be to run through pillar door and go dummies here because like that side's not covered right now. Going this way is not terrible, but I just think like based on where everybody is, like if you go this way, you're going to find people trying to escape. You probably run into this overshield guy, maybe do some damage to him, but do you see why I see that route in my head though?
Oh no, definitely, because it kind of keeps the theme of quote unquote getting behind them. I mean, you would have run into that OS, but it seems like the route I'm going, I don't know how it's going to develop here. I don't remember, but it seems like we're going to give the OS there that's wrapping pretty much a free pass behind us, which is what you're kind of saying that like we should be doing, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
actually doing it.
Yep, exactly. So I love this analogy that I made, and I see Astris in my chat. Astris is one of my students that went from Diamond 1, I think he started, and now he's like well into Onyx. Or no, he started in like Diamond 5, I think, and now he's like Onyx 1600 after a couple sessions. And one of the things that really stuck with him was just treating the other team like they're sheep and you're the shepherd, right? Like you want to herd them into a corner so that you can get around them, right? So if your teammates are going this way and they're applying pressure this way, they're starting to herd the sheep in this direction, right? But if nobody is on this side, the sheep can just escape out this gate.
Yeah.
So, but if you're the shepherd and you're paying attention, like, oh, we want the sheep to stay over here, like that's why I see this route, because I want to herd the sheep into a
Fence
corner.
them in. Fence them in.
Yeah, fence them in, exactly. So that's definitely a way that I just think about and see the map most of the time, is like I just want to push them into a corner because we're gonna more effectively kill their whole team. So we end up going this way. We get good damage. Looks like there's still a guy bottom mid though that we missed.
That's probably the OS, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like he just got a kill. Yeah, now you're in a like good position, but
I see everybody's
is
dead, so that's the.
yeah.
Or at least we're not in a good position to push, so I'm just trying to live. I'm pretty sure this dude comes out and just finishes me off.
I just want to point out this spawn point real quick. So this guy spawned here because you're so far up on this side, right?
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying where you are is a bad place, but we just have to be aware that this happens because you're close enough. Like the way the spawns work is there's basically like an invisible aura radiating from your Spartan, like in all directions, right? And that it's like a spawn blocking aura. Okay, so if you could imagine it, it probably extends about this far, roughly. There are different zones that are kind of like cut off. Like if you think about King of the Hill, like the way the hill is like a square, there are zones that they added, spawn zones, and you can look at them in Forge, by the way. Now dev maps are available in Forge. You can look at the spawn zones and kind of like see where they start and where they end. But if you're Spartan that is like entering that area, it's starting to block all the spawns in this radius. So even though your sandbags, that radius is extending through the walls into here and keeping them from spawning here, and it's increasing the odds that you spawn that your teammates spawn around you. So when your teammate spawns here and you're blocking A, like, and if we're really hyper aware in this situation, we should know like, okay, they're going to start spawning C, which is exactly what happened here. But yeah, this guy knows exactly where you are. He's just going to walk up and kill you. And then like, this sounds crazy, but like if once you get to the higher levels of Onyx and people are able to predict these spawns, like Bandos, even though the ball's way over there, it's actually better for him to just go this way off of his spawn. Find the spawner that spawned over here. You're going to find this guy. He's not going to know that, like, he's going to be so shocked that you start killing him from right here.
And then he's going to hate his life when he goes down right off spawn.
Exactly. And then if you secure that kill, how fucking easy is it to push and break the setup from there?
Yeah.
And you'll notice it if you watch Phase and Optic, like Frosty spawns right here, he's not going towards the ball. He's going this way. He's clearing this space. He knows the spawner is here. And now he's in a better position to make a push from a unique angle towards their setup. So, but this is what you see in every lobby that's like Onyx 1600 and below, is this action that Bandos has taken. He's not even thinking of the possibility of anyone being at C here. And the other team is now about to call it out, and they're about to pinch you guys. Look how little space we have here. Okay, the other team is not as aware as I thought. See, a good team would have just pushed Nest Bridge right away when they spawn here, because they know that by spawning here, it's giving you the intel of where the other team is.
And one pretty good question, just really quick for you, is somebody in chat said, doesn't even looking at a spawn area affect spawn chance?
So it's extremely minute. Like I've gotten to the point where I am pre-aiming spawn points with my sniper rifle. If I just look at the map and I know where someone, like I have zoomed in and spawn killed a guy that spawned here numerous times on my stream. The other day, I just looked at the situation, knew somebody was going to spawn training. I spawn sniped Daz, who's in my chat right now, who spawned right there. So like, it really doesn't impact much. Like if anything, like I think it's a point system because that's how it worked in Halo 3 at least. So like an enemy being in this area would be like negative 500 points, and looking at a spot might only be like negative 10 or 20 points. Like it's way less of a weighting for it to matter than you think. I also see people throw nades at spawns, which does not do anything either. It did in other games.
Grenades.
Yeah, that's like you can literally spawn and eat a grenade in this game. The game does not care if a grenade's there. All it cares about is where your team is and where the other team is.
Okay.
And I really don't think that like nades are looking at an area really impacts it. It's kind of like a myth, honestly.
Yeah.
I think you got heat waved. So a funny thing is the heat wave makes your body disappear, and like theater literally takes you out of the game for a second. Like you cannot.
Yeah, you can't cycle
Okay, here
over
we
it.
go. All right, so this is actually a pretty good spawn point based on where our teammates are. I think just confidently pushing through top mid is pretty strong here.
I can already tell you I see snipe coming up, so that's the focus.
Yep.
So I'm probably gonna hold this position and go back for it.
It's not bad, honestly.
Moving up.
You're making sure this guy dies, but yeah, here I would immediately turn around and snipe.
Yeah.
So this is another timing thing, and I made a YouTube video about like having a timer in your head about when the enemies are respawning. And I can already tell that like you weren't as thoughtful of this as I wanted you to be. Like right here. All right, that guy just died. It's gonna be, and the guy that's already laying there dead on sandbags has been dead for a couple seconds. So the timer's already started. It's probably 8 seconds so the guy on sandbag spawns, and then 10 seconds for this guy who you just killed to spawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This guy's already spawned up.
Yeah.
And if we have that in our head, and it's kind of a skill that you develop over time, just like lots of reps. Like I'm not actually counting or anything. It's just kind of like a feeling that I know about how long 10 seconds is. But like I'm already thinking about finding the spawner as soon as possible, like right here. And I do not want to be looking this direction. Like I feel an urgency to find the spawner in this moment. And we're just still moving toward, like, away from taking space on the map. We should be immediately turning around, or at least, like, we just need to check one of the spawn points, right? Like, we want to either turn around and look this way to see if that first spawner spawned here. If he didn't spawn there, then we know they spawned C, right? It's like process of elimination. The sooner we identify which way they're coming from, the sooner we can apply pressure to them.
Yeah.
But we're moving this way. Look how effective this would have been, though, if you had just immediately turned around and walked towards sniper. Deepal spawned OS. You guys could be having a little mini pinch and be racking up time for the team.
And they wouldn't even be getting close to us.
And yeah, exactly. We're applying so much pressure that they're not even able to get close to our ball guy.
Yeah,
Instead,
and I should have had better awareness on where they should have been coming from, because you can see I did that, like, oh, they're not coming from over here, I guess I'll check over here, but like I have to have a better image of where they're going to be coming from, and I do that quite often.
So the opportunity here was literally right after these 2 kills. This is the time to like have a sense of urgency. I think I went too far back. Wait, how far back did I go? Okay, never mind. I think I just skipped it on accident, but yeah, this is the next play. All right, so I think I missed this. You knew what I was going to say, though. Is like, you just immediately turn back and play for the sniper. But now Now we're all dying again. We're all dead. Then they have the ball, and we spawn B. So, and OS is up in 9 seconds. So this is a spot where ideally we want to go both sandbags and C, but it's still going to be really hard to play this. Like, we need to find a pick somewhere if we're going to get this overshield and if we're going to get back into this game. It's okay to take our time a little bit, like it looks like you are, because kind of want a teammate to spawn green with us and then push, so this is fine. Little tip though, if you just push up here quickly, you can bounce nades off of this little like, I don't know how to describe this, but like this little slanted like cement piece. You just like get right here and you throw both nades there, it'll bounce off the cement piece and blow up like right here where people often sit while they wait for this OS, right?
Yeah, I use that pretty often, but I definitely don't throw them from that far away, so that's definitely a smart idea.
Yeah, because think about it, if you go up to here, you're exposed to anybody. Like, there's often going to be a player right here.
Yeah,
that's
and if I'm throwing
grenades,
I'm just gonna be the freest kill of his game.
Exactly. So you kind of want to like cut your angle so that you're not shot by that guy. Throw those nades, and then you can even like jump on the box and jump up from here. And now you have an angle where you can see OS, but you're not exposing yourself to the player in A. You might see or hear a guy in A, and then you can turn and like fight him afterwards. But it's like, we have to be really mindful of the way we approach this.
Yeah.
Looks like you are. And we actually are in a position to potentially get this OS. We have to be a little more aggressive though. Like this is a spot where your hesitation is holding you back again. Like, once we're all alive, there's no more reasons to hesitate.
Yeah, it's time to go.
It's time to go. But like here, we're like walking slowly. We didn't like confidently take the angle. We're now identifying this guy's here. This is all fine because now our teammate's finally behind us. But like at this point, like I don't think there's a reason to back up right here.
No, yeah. Plus there was one guy weak. The one that was closest to overshield was pretty weak there too. So if we fly out, I have the help of Depaul to get that guy coming out A. And then that guy wouldn't even be pushing OS on Bandos.
Yeah. Honestly, and this sounds crazy, but like this is a spot where you shouldn't even care if you die as long as you get a kill and deal some damage. Like, if you fly out this way and you just like wreck their shit for a little bit, like if you just come in like Miley Cyrus, like a wrecking, and just like start beating people down and swinging elbows and like draw the attention. Like if they're all looking over here, then like it's just free for our team to go grab the OS. You might do enough damage that they kill their whole team, and then you have an oddball setup. Like, you should not care about dying in this spot. And I feel like we're just playing so cautious that we're like,
no, definitely the hesitation.
Yeah. All right, and this is another spot. Like, how many times? Yeah, how many times have we seen this?
Yep.
Why are we all going the same direction? Like, somebody needs to immediately, zero hesitation. Like, after their whole team's dead, we just got overshield. The first thought in this exact moment should always be, where are we pushing? Like, it should be holding forward in a direction. Like, okay, I'm going dummies. If you go here, then you're almost always force the other team to spawn at B. Then you can fly this way, hit the G slides, and then you're shooting these guys that are spawning B in a second. I'm going to play it. We'll see where they actually spawn.
Yeah, just eating up anything on the map. We're literally eating up like 10% of the map when we kill all of them, so they can just go wherever they want.
Yeah, it's hard to see the outlines, but that's us.
Oh my god.
This guy spawned here, and let's see how far he gets before he even like gets looked at. Oh, he got this far, so now he influenced his whole team to spawn
even
literally right next to us.
Yep.
And they can just walk in for free.
And
like,
why are we still all in garage?
Yeah. Like, this guy got here, gave his team good spawns, and now they have a natural push. Like, they can just push 2 through big, 1 through sandbags at the same time, and you guys are fucked. Like, you're just not gonna be able to respond to this.
And we're literally in like almost the same setup. The only upside is Bandos is out sandbags this time, but it's not gonna matter because they're all just flying at us from B anyways. We even have one wrapping wide. See, like, they're doing what you're telling us we should have done. Like, he went wide through cuts, and he was coming from a different angle. So even if I'm able to fight that kid sandbags, I'm going to get wrecked by the dude coming from the angle that nobody's even looking at.
Exactly. Yeah, they made basically a perfect push here. They sent guys sandbags, 2 through big door, and then this guy's covering the outer wing. They're hurting you guys like cattle. Like, they just flew in, no hesitation, flying in from multiple angles.
It's just even funnier seeing the enemy team doing what you're kind of talking about that we're not doing.
Yeah.
And seeing how well it can work, because that's pretty much what's... And they're getting 10 to 15 seconds off each time they do this. Like, before we're even spawning up, like, making a push, they're getting just free time.
Yep. And you see how they're pushing space away from their ball guy? Like, they just pushed your last player back. Rocky spawns there. He's gonna try to cut off the bottom mid guy. Yep. Like, they're making really sound plays to protect their ball guy and just making you guys' life difficult. Yeah. You're already getting pressured off your spawn point, very far from the ball. They're kind of forcing you guys to take a certain direction.
Yeah, we're pushing down low.
Hate to see this too. I think you're already checked at this point, but like, I know they're not great anymore after the patch, but
I normally do go back and grab them, and then I literally think I may have...
You did.
See, I either do that or I start running and I'm like, oh, I forgot to grab the spikes, but it's already like, you know, do I want to waste the time and go back and get them or try to help on the push, which right here it looks like it's not going to matter either way. But
yeah. No, I'm glad that you turned back and did it. That shows a good level of awareness that, like, honestly, in most diamond lobbies that I watch in these, like, people just spawn right here and just walk.
Sprint, yeah.
Yeah, they don't even think about picking them up. And, like, these things used to be one of the most overpowered things in the game. That's why they got nerfed.
Yeah,
and people were still walking past them. And, like, now they're really not great anymore. It's still, like, sticking somebody is still just as effective as it always has been. It looked like you should have stuck that guy low-key.
I agree.
Game works perfectly, though. Don't worry about it. Okay, nice. It's actually starting to look good. See how our formation is? We're kind of on both sides of the ball.
We're not all back B together.
Yep. But here, when you back up, you should just be holding forward. You
So
have a heat wave.
I want to point out my thought process here, because this is going to be big based on how you're saying to play and kind of exactly what I'm looking for with my gameplay. So my thought process right here is I'm looking up A plat. If I don't see anybody, I'm like, okay, I need to go back and check another angle. Your thought process is like wrap through, so you have like an angle that they're not even going to be looking at. And see, that's kind of like one of the first things I'm seeing where it could have completely changed. Because I bet with this life, me going back, I'm probably not going to do a lot of damage compared to what could have happened if I pushed through to eat up more of the map.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, think about it this way. Like, this guy probably just got called out. Bandos is already shooting him. Like, if you just push out this way, not only are you blocking these spawns, which is like so important to do right now, like, but you're also going to get behind them, and then you could even cycle and keep going through top mid. Like, based on the timing of how this plays, like, there's 2 dead bodies on your screen right now. We want to choose their spawn point. If you, let's say you're the hand of God, and you get to choose exactly where these guys spawn, where would you pick for them to spawn when our ball is at B? Where would you choose?
Like, how do you mean? Like, where?
Like, just think about it. Okay, these guys are dead. They're gonna spawn in 10 seconds, right?
Yep.
And we want, like, where do we want the other team to spawn so that they can't kill our ball guy?
We definitely want them to spawn further like dummy direction. So if I push out towards A plat, I'm just further influencing them. That's like the only place they could spawn is OS or dummy area. Or maybe back tower, depending on where Lysandre plays off this. But I think the spawn timer's already to the point where they're going to come up dummies.
Well, check this out. Yeah, if you go this way, yes, they'll probably spawn dummies, and yes, that's where we want them to spawn. If our pillars guy backtracks towards our setup too much, they could spawn mud, But who cares if they spawn mud? Because you just cleared all of A and the ball guy can just rotate behind you.
Yeah. And then we're
And now
eating
we're
up
just
so
rotating
much of
away
the
from
map
that.
where we can basically go wherever we want.
Exactly. So it's like you want the other team to be as far from your ball guy as possible, and like just be ready to rotate it if you need to. If they spawn mud, then obviously they're just gonna run this way. If we all run this way, now that we're just playing keep away and we're shooting them from both sides at the same time, if we always have like 75% of the map in our control, there's only 25% of the map that they could be or come from. So, like, yeah, if you just pushed sandbags instead of coming back and condensing towards the setup,
Yeah, and this was
you'd have been able to
exactly
kill this
like
guy.
my thought process that I just walked you through. Is like I'm like, oh, I need to check a different angle because my thought process is more locked in on like shooting the same angle as opposed to like making a play on the angle. And I actually have a VOD review coming, which basically I talk about that. Is I'm not really like setting myself up for success. I'm kind of just, you know, I don't want to call it tunnel vision, but I'm kind of like just using the same angle that somebody's already looking at, which is kind of useless in some regards, except for damage. But just completely different like play here.
Yeah. Now pushing out space is so important in this game, and that's why, like seriously, just go back and watch, like FaZe versus Optic, or really any two top teams playing against each other, and you'll just notice that they're fighting for space, literally on the opposite side of the map. Like, the ball will be in A, and there's guys taking pivs at C plat, and you're like, why the fuck? Like, why are they so pressed about having that? It's because it sets them up to have a pinch in their next play if they take that space first. Now they have a new approach angle to get to the objective so that they can be fighting, like approaching from multiple angles simultaneously. And you'll see it in upper level gameplay constantly. They're just fighting for space on the other side.
Now
Honestly,
out in
here,
the open.
yeah, like if we play this back at the decision point, I don't know how big of a difference it would have made in this exact situation because our team ended up dying, but like this is where I just grab, like literally no hesitation. I grab this heat wave here. I try to get behind this guy. I hit this slide off of this thing, and I'm trying to just
Be a menace.
get behind. Yeah, just be a menace. Get behind them. If they're getting heat waved in the back while they're looking at your ball guy, like how annoyed are they, right?
Make them hate their lives. It's the biggest
That's-
takeaway I'm getting so far.
That's my entire game plan when I play this game. I just want the other team to be frustrated, because if they're frustrated, that ruins their comms. That like just foils whatever decision they're trying to make.
So while we're right here, I actually had a pretty good question in chat, and I think this is kind of a good area to hit you with it. So I'm gonna run and use the bathroom real quick, but I'm gonna hit you with this question. So a lot of people in chat either play like, you know, solo, duo. They're not always in a 4-stack. The question is, would you adjust your thought process at all if you're playing more like solo or somebody's not in the comms? Like, are you going to, like, all the play style that we're kind of talking about and how we would adjust it, would you change that, or would you still be making the same exact plays and just kind of like letting the randoms be randoms?
Honestly, I don't really change my playstyle that much.
I'm
I
gonna
think
run
the
out real
only...
quick while you answer that, Eli.
Okay, sure. Honestly, if I'm running solo, well, first of all, I don't run solo a whole lot because it's frustrating, and this game is fundamentally a team game. Like this game requires more teamwork and coordination than just about any Halo, honestly, because it's so fast paced, and like timing pushes is so important. The BR is very powerful, so if two people are shooting the same guy, like they die in less than a second. But if I am playing solo, I think the only thing that I'd change is I'm more likely to just look around and see what my teammates are doing. This is kind of a concept that I got from playing poker, but it actually translates to Halo as well. Is like people have their body language kind of tells you what their intentions are, and even your teammates Spartans' body language is kind of telling you what your teammates thinking. So like, if you're just to look at this Spartan, clearly based on his body language, his intention is to push and fight somebody over here. All right, let's look at this Spartan. This guy is also pushing and fighting this way. This guy, his body language is he's trying to run away, right? Like and you can see the teammates' body language like through, like with these outlines, you can see what they're trying to do. And if you can kind of read the situation and say like, okay, my teammates are trying to do this, you can more effectively choose a way to support their play. Because this guy's running away, my instinct is to cover his back. Because these guys are pushing this way, my instinct is to like find an angle to fight the same thing they're fighting. You know what I mean? Like, we just have to be more mindful because we don't have their comms, because we can't hear their thoughts. We kind of just have to look at them a bit more often to kind of see what play they're trying to make and then support it in another way. But the fundamentals of taking space, that doesn't change whether you can hear your teammate or not. If you're able to like push out, like in this situation we just talked about, like you grab the heat wave and you go over here, like you're still influencing the spawns. It doesn't matter what your teammates are here like saying or not saying, because you're still making the game easier to play if you know the other team can only come from one side. So
It shows a lot of your mind for Halo 2 versus than like some people in the lower ranks, because it'll be like, why are you playing so far off ball? You're pushing kills, blah blah blah. But realistically, doing that's what's gonna get you all of that ball time.
Exactly.
So
And
yeah,
we
there's
spent
my hezzy to back up and then go look at the same angle.
yeah, I mean this isn't bad either, and like your teammates were dying anyways, so this is a decent spot to be. But the side effect of like going this way would have been you're now in a safer spot to be more effective when your teammates respawn, and you can choose to like go this way and just take more space on the map.
Rather than just fighting
Instead,
to
we
the
just
death.
we're just in the open now. They have a perfect setup to close out this game, honestly. Oh, Bandos is not going to let them close out the game, though. Kind of want to watch what Bandos does here. Where did he
I
spawn?
think he just went down. There
Okay,
he
he
is.
spawned big door. All right, so first of all, I want to say something about the spawn system here.
Busted.
So we're gonna look. Well, it's not. There's actually a good reason for him to spawn there. So we're gonna look at the exact timing of your death. The exact timing of the spawn point. Okay, he actually spawned literally a millisecond before you just died.
So it was still marked as quote unquote safe based on what was being held.
Wasn't necessarily safe, but the game knew you were in danger. It knew you were in danger, so it picked a spawn point for this guy to potentially be able to help you. It's kind of like a comeback mechanic built into the spawn system.
Yeah.
So like, because you were still alive here during that microsecond, like the game doesn't decide where you spawn until the frame before you actually spawn. And during that frame before he spawned, you were still alive. So it's like, okay, he can help. So if you're the other team in this situation and you're hyper aware of when the other team's spawning, like you should be able to predict like, okay, they probably spawned A here because that guy was still alive. You know what I mean? Like in this exact situation, the timing was like insane. So you're probably not, but that's kind of a rule of thumb. You can predict spawns a little bit easier in the future, is like, okay, we knew they had some spawners while we were still fighting. So the spawners are probably still close to the fight. And then you have to be like prepared for this guy to show up. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then Bandos has the awareness to know I just put damage in those two. So he's going to fly and push them. And he's completely baffled that he just came from there.
Yep.
Huge kills.
Yeah, huge plays by Bandos here. I got a question on my chat. What's the ball spawn influence? Double a normal player? I really don't think the ball makes that big of a difference on the spawn points, to be honest. Like, it's just more so where people are. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't really notice much difference in spawn positions based on where the ball is, like, ever. So we're actually, like, because of Bandos' play, have, like, a small glimpse of hope here, but we have to play perfectly from here on out to win this now. All right, you guys work together to get that kill. We're still just like holding our ground instead of taking space. Whenever we have a kill on the map, we should be taking space.
Yep.
And even if we don't have a kill, like a lot of the time we should be taking space. Okay, it looks like Lysandre actually makes a good play here. He goes all the way around. I think it's kind of too far. I think he could have just gone through top mid here and accomplished the same goal. But the thought is there. Oh, he's going for OS. Okay. I thought he was trying to get around the setup, but that makes more sense. And yeah, we don't need to be
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Worst life of the game.
Yeah, like we just need to play safely over here and just be like, hey, get ready to play that. And like you can shoot from here safely and not die. And then if he plays it, now you can, move this way and approach the new ball. It's kind of the way to play this. But instead we just die. He's going to play it, but now we're not going to be in good position to get the new ball.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I like that we're looking this way. We didn't need to walk that far off of that spawn point, but
Yeah.
I feel like we kind of checked at this point, honestly, is what it feels like. I think we kind of mentally decided we lost this game. And I think we just did.
Yeah, it's GG's.
All right, well, we spent an hour 45 minutes on just this game.
That was good though.
you,
That was really helpful.
I think we talked about a lot of really important concepts to go for. All right, so how much time do you realistically have left here?
I could go another half hour tops.
Half
I'd
hour?
say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me pull up your other one. I'm gonna get a water too, though. Just a short intermission here.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. Randeezy, I definitely recommend watching the entire analysis of that oddball game. But basically what he's talking about is when we were grabbing the ball and getting the hold, we were kind of all staying in one little area instead of kind of spreading the map. And that's what he means by taking up space is we're staying in like one little like 25% area of the map. We need to spread and take up like 50% of the map rather than all huddling on the oddball. So that's kind of what's meant by taking space. But thank you everybody for popping in, hanging out. We're probably going to jump into, I think I have a King of the Hill recharge game lined up to go over. We obviously don't have as much time to go as in-depth as that oddball, but that oddball was so helpful in terms of like what I'm doing wrong as kind of a player in my decisions. So I'm really excited to work off of that and go a little further. Burn your bridges with the 3.14 super chat. Thank you, brother. Loving these breakdowns, dude. It's so helpful, and I love the pie number. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Everybody else, thank you for hanging out. I am reading all the chats. I'm just kind of trying to like not interrupt Eli too much or anything like that. So, hey, much love, Randeezy. Appreciate you. Yeah, man, we've taken some big leaps and bounds the last couple weeks, and so this is like the perfect time for the coaching session, I think. So I'm super happy we're doing this. Learning so much, man. Top tier content, Eli and Cody. You are both awesome. Much love, Danny. Appreciate you. Appreciate all y'all coming in, hanging out. So yeah, we're gonna jump into some King of the Hill gameplay now, really quick. And we'll see how he picks that apart. It is solo play, too. I picked two, like, completely different worlds of gameplay. So one with, like, a full team, and then one with, like, whatchamacallit? No comms and stuff like that. I think we had some comms, but it wasn't, like, playing with, like, Bandos and Brent and stuff.
All right, Cody, I'm back.
All right, I'm good to go.
All right, sweet. Let me see. The other game was on the... What page was that one on?
Same page, top left, I believe. Is Recharge King of the Hill. I think we lost 4-3. We might have won 4-3. Not completely sure.
Okay.
Masked up, bro. Thank you for the $4.99, man.
Hill.
Thank you. Yeah, it should be page 7.
So the last one was on page 6 for me when I found
Oh, really?
it.
Then it might be off a little bit.
I think I found
That's
it.
the one. That's the one.
22 and 23. Okay.
So yeah, I believe we won. I don't know if I was the only one on the team negative, but I was bottom leaderboard. But it felt like I was making the necessary decisions. So I'm just interested to see how you pick it apart, because I'm not playing with like Bandos. I'm not playing with like the regular team. So this will be a little bit more of me operating off pure instinct as opposed to playing off them as much.
Okay. This ties into that chat question. How do you play without comms kind of thing? Do you actually, I watch your stream. You don't really comm or even have the other people's voice on, do you?
It depends. I really try to avoid solo as much as possible, as you understand how the ranked grind can go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But if I'm doing it for multiple games, I try to put it on. But this game, I think I might have been party with one other person, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Looks like you have Avenged Sevenfold coming home, Man, and Zapid on your team. Do you know any of these guys?
I think Stu Man might have been on my team for this one, and I know him, but I don't think we were partied up. Like, I just ran into him in matchmaking. Got 2 people not even moving off the start. That's cool. But see what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, it's super frustrating to play solo sometimes. I like your opening strat though. This is a good jump to kind of like apply pressure from this part. The reason why I like this is because a lot of people go this way. So like, especially if you're playing with randoms, you can almost always expect like a teammate, like one teammate will usually go this way. And if they do, they pull their attention first and then you come in. It's like a little mini push, like where you're coming in from multiple angles at the same time. So it does usually work out pretty well. Early pick is good. So a couple of things I'll say about recharge is this map is probably the most unique map of all of them. Like I would say Live Fire and Streets play pretty similar to each other. They're both like 3 lanes. You know, like Aquarius and Argyle play kind of similar, but Argyle's much bigger. But this map is just kind of in its own category, in my opinion. This is one of the few maps that like you can just kind of stand still, and it's a good idea a lot of the time. You still want to take space as much as you can, but there's such a powerful setup when you have like this A and top gold cross at the same time. You can literally just hold and like force the other team to spawn C over and over and like barely move from your spot, and it's pretty effective. For King of the Hill, it's a little bit different. I think every single hill kind of has its own strategy and like a certain part of the map that you want to control. So for this first hill, I typically like to have C plat control. I think a lot of people know that by now. The meta's kind of evolved around like getting C plat. You kind of want to get this area controlled before you go for hill, just because it has an easy approach angle to the hill. It's pretty safe over here. If you also have a guy up here in gold, then oftentimes the other team just keeps spawning A over and over, and you can just team shoot them as they come through these tiny doorways. Better teams will start pushing out this way and trying to get control of gold to make it easier to get C plat afterwards. So that's kind of the way the first hill plays out. At the very beginning of the game, I think it's kind of step by step though. It's like there's a fight for camo. Ideally, we go for shock rifle. And then after that, it's like, okay, let's get C and then let's get the hill. It's kind of like a step-by-step process. And it's important that we don't skip steps. This is good. Sidekick's absolutely busted since they added the bandit. I'm pretty sure when they added the bandit, it originally had crazy bloom. And then when they reduced the bloom on that gun, it also reduced the bloom on the pistol, because before the bandit came out, this gun was not that good.
I just know the pistol's cracked. I am obsessed with it, especially being in that spot where Mangler used to be.
Yeah, it's so good. Do not sleep on the pistol, guys. So this is interesting. We're kind of like, I don't know why we look this way at all. We just came from here, so they shouldn't be there. I think the thought process is good though. So like, let's try to get a kill before we get hill time. But low key, we had a couple of kills here. This guy's dead. Like, because Zapid's already kind of long haul, like, I think it's actually okay to just go for the hill. Like we've kind of already got the part of the map that we want to start getting hill time. And if we go for a hill right here, like after we get our shields back, like especially after this kill, and another guy just died, like there's no reason we shouldn't go for hill here. We've got that part of the map. If we go towards the hill, we got 4 dead. I guess you thought Zapid would go for it. Looks like he does. Okay.
See, this
No,
was me
makes
going
sense.
back to eat up the C plat because I definitely understand the C plat focus.
No, this actually makes sense now that I see it. But both of our teammates left the hill, which is
unlucky.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, lucky. I don't know what this is though. That's so confusing. We just got 4 dead. Why are we not going? And now you're like, okay, I still have to hold this spot like until we get another pick now. So I actually kind of like this.
Yeah, this was me kind of slowing down again. I checked there because I'm getting same thing with the one we just watched. I'm more obsessed with checking my angles than I am actually anticipating where they're coming from, which definitely I'll have to try to switch that mindset a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad a turn because you did kind of like leave C enough that it would have been possible that somebody spawned like down here maybe, but I don't know. You were close enough to block a majority of these C spawns. Like you block, I think these are the most common ones. Like I think there's 2 spawn points right here, and you're blocking those from your location. So, when your teammate dies like bottom gold, though, we should be a little more mindful that they could be long haul. It's fine though. And I think you ran to the bathroom when I answered that question, but we just when we're running solo and we don't have comms, we just have to pay closer attention to context, right? Like if our teammate dies somewhere, like we can assume that somebody could be near them. You also want to pay close attention to how your teammate died. Like if you see the back smack or the beatdown icon, like then you know somebody's near your teammate's dead body. You know, little things like that can actually help your awareness a lot. Just being hyper focused on how you're like where and how your teammate died. But this is all fine. I like that you're playing this safely, preserving your life. It's more important that you stay alive than to finish that kill. And this is really good. So this is another example of like pushing out a new angle. In general, I like to rotate a lot with the shock rifle because especially if you get a couple of kills, like they're usually going to start hunting you to try to kill you. So just coming up from a new spot is a more effective way to get some more snipes. Our whole team is dead somehow. So this is all good. You're just being a nuisance. Keeping them out of the hill. Should have been able to... Yeah, I was going to say we should have been able to ice up and hit that one. Happens though. I will say, Cody, I do not see you curb sliding very much at all. But I think it's because you're not super confident when it's time to push.
Yeah, like if you... that comes with the hesitation, because I'll definitely do it, but not in like moments. You know, when it's like go time, I'm like, okay, I'd keep the gun up, but
like if you watch me play this map, I am flying everywhere. Like I love the curb slides on this map. Like every staircase, like towards the bottom of it, you can hit the curb slide. You can jump on this thing, hit the curb slide to fly in here. This is the push you want to make. If you're in long haul, you can slide off of this and fly to gold without getting shot. Like,
yeah, it comes with like committing, which as you can see, a lot of the decisions when it's time to make a decision, I'm kind of like 50-50 about it.
Yeah, like even right here, if we're gonna go here, would it not be better to slide into here?
Yeah,
because we're more likely to catch somebody off guard. Like we jumped on this box and we walked into this opening, and like if we're entering this room when we're weak, like we are, I don't think this is bad. I think we should be going this way, but like if we slide and fly this way, like we can maybe catch somebody off guard. Now we're in a juke somebody that's bottom here. We're more quickly ready to challenge up here, like, and this goes for anybody. If you're not confident with your slides, that should be part of your warm-up routine. Like you shouldn't just be shooting bots. You should be curb sliding around the map until it's like literally ingrained in your muscle memory, so you hit it every time.
Yeah.
And one fun spot to do it is actually right here. This box, you can curb slide to this box and then turn around and then curb slide back to this box. Like I'll literally just do this for like 10 minutes. like just sliding back and forth, just to make sure I have the timing down. But this is good because we went to this angle. We have we're shooting them in the back, doing a lot of damage. Huge kill. Still contesting this camo. I like the way you're actually. Watch this in first person real quick. Yeah, we're like, and even that little slide and turn. Even though we died there, like we did a lot of damage. We applied pressure. I'll be honest, your teammates are really letting me down so far. That's kind of the matchmaking experience, I guess. Like what you were doing there was really good. You like lived for a long time, confidently rounded the corner. You dealt a lot of damage, and ultimately our team did finish up on the damage, probably a little bit slower than I like, but the impact of your play was still felt, so that's good. Now here, when I see my teammates spawn plat, now this is a huge example of using context to know where to look next. Let's just watch this situation again real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so we have a bunch of them dead, right? So we know that they're about to spawn. We should already be thinking of the possible places for them to spawn, right? So our team is bottom mid, but they're not really blocking much. Stu is probably close enough to block long haul here, but that's about it. So we're gonna be hyper focused on where our teammate spawns to then know exactly where the enemy spawned, okay? So Zapid spawns long haul seaside. So we know for a fact they spawn gold because you're blocking A and he spawned there. There's nowhere else for them to be but gold.
Yeah.
So as soon as Zapid spawns there, I'm literally going into A and getting behind these guys. Like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna cover. I'm gonna kill whoever walks out of the door because I'm expecting somebody to walk out of this door. If nobody walks out of this door, I'm just gonna look batteries because I think they're gonna be like either jumping out from bat ledge or they're gonna be glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead we go forward, which is like, it's okay, but look what happens now. Like now we're all down here and we just gave up A for free. Now they can actually start spawning A. But we don't really want them to get multiple spawn points. Now you decide to go back to A.
I think here was the confusion of who was gonna like earlier you saw nobody was getting a point. So I think in this mindset, I'm like, well, I guess I'll go down and get the point, you know, and then I gave the A spawn and now I'm like, fuck, I'll go back and they're in A now. You know, so.
But you can see how like my decision is literally based on where my teammates spawned and it's instant.
Yeah.
That should be kind of the mode that you train yourself to be in. So just see that context of where your teammates spawn and be like, oh, they're gonna be gold. Like it's just an instant thing, and you know, like, okay, I'm the shepherd. Where am I hurting my sheep? And that's why I would just take that outside perimeter angle and get behind them. You already know what route they're gonna take. If the hill's bottom mid and they spawn right here, you already know this guy's just gonna walk and stare at the hill, right? Like that's just his movement. So you come here and you cut it off. So you don't even let him do it. You still fucking shit on that guy. Jesus Christ. Hold on. Oh, no.
Unfortunate.
No, that's dirty. El President. All right, so now Hill is on C-plat, and because you're the outside guy, like, you should still be thinking about getting behind them. Like, they're going to hold down that side. You're already in this position to either, like, apply, like, you can just literally sit here and just, like, apply pressure to anybody that's approaching from, because you're pretty sure that's where they're going to be now. I think we were a little lackadaisical with our movement there.
Yeah.
I think maybe you just wanted that pistol.
Obsessed with that thing.
Sometimes our obsession with items can get us killed. All right, so we're spawning like literally on the hill. So this is where we kind of just got to secure a couple of kills and then go for hill time. This guy's basically in your crosshair when you spawn. That was just kind of unlucky. You did as much as you could with that spawn, I think. Okay. Yeah, here I like this spot a lot during this hill. This is probably the best part of the map. And I think you know that because you can shoot anybody that's spawning A and trying to cross the tower. You can shoot this guy for free that's like there. The thing is, Zapid had died, and it didn't feel like we were ready to respond to that. See, the thing is, like, he could technically die from anywhere, but we have to, like, just make sure it wasn't right next to us sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you still did as much as you could right here, though, because, like, you had to focus that guy. He was on your screen first, and then you immediately tried to respond to the other guy, so honestly not bad there. By the way, just cut me off or give me like a 5-minute warning when you have to go, because I know you have to bounce at some point.
Yeah, I got you. Got about 15 minutes.
And you'll probably want to, you know, spend a couple minutes saying goodbye to chat or whatever. So.
Yeah, close out.
All right, this is good. Our life is pretty important here because we have this outside angle, and Camo's about to come up. Yeah, I like that we waited there. That was really important to be patient in that moment because, like, we don't want to just get crossed and killed by so many batteries for free when, like, dying in that moment was going to be really bad. So I like the way you played that. Yeah, this is good. Just push this guy out. We know that if we get goal control, we are going to have a lot easier time for this hill. We should have kept looking at Stu here, though. I think this is fine too. But like the thing is right here, you're the only one that can like help Stu.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Zapid could walk out and help. But oftentimes this guy's going to go like trip stacks and you're going to be the only person with an angle. I mean, the timing was just perfectly bad for us to not help him there, I guess. And this is good. Now we can come back. Honestly, I like the way you've played this so far. You've done just about everything right. I would say the only thing was that that situation in A where, like,
when I flew out and gave him the spawn.
better. Yeah, if we read the context better, I think you would have played that perimeter I was looking for. And now this is not great. Like, look at the other team's formation. Perfect line, forcing you guys to spawn here. They're gonna have angles on every way that you try to approach from here. This is looking like optic in the like outlines right now. You'll see them in like a straight line all the time. Able to push through though. Honestly, really good push this way. Kind of want to see what my Avenged Sevenfold friend did here. Does he spawn A now? Where does he? Okay, he spawned tower. Melee's the air. Realize he doesn't need to go that way, and then he walked this way. Okay. So I was gonna say I like that he went this way because like nobody had this. Dude, what is? Oh man. So even though this looks silly, if he didn't do this, like you guys would have had so much, like a much harder time getting control.
Oh yeah.
So he gets no kill here, and he looks kind of stupid doing it. I'm not gonna lie, but just the fact that he walked this direction actually made the play way easier. Like people don't realize like how important just going here and being a distraction is. Because if he decided to just walk with you guys, like you guys don't cap this point so easily. They would have just full sent it to stop you and kill you here.
Yeah.
And that's a play that shows up in the death, like in the stat page of a death without a kill, maybe an assist, and like he just took a lot of damage and dealt a little bit of damage but it was a very impactful play. So that's like a big reason why stats do not matter. Just as an example. Would a better player have made even more of an impact? Sure. But it's still a good play. All right, I like this. I don't like this.
Could not tell you the thought process here.
Yeah, there was just no reason to
I
leave
think
here.
I might have thought a push was coming through Whirlpool, and I might have been trying to, like, surprise them, but it's like, if they're looking over the map, that's just an idiotic decision right there. Like, I don't think I thought there was so much presence top gold.
Yeah. But if we look around, like that's exactly where they should be, right? Like if we're in A and we're in tower and our teammate is C stairs, like where else are they gonna be? I think you were talking to Chad or taking a bite of your burrito right there. I'm not sure.
Had to be, had to be.
Something like that. So in this specific hill, like this is one of the rare times in all of Halo, or in all of Halo Infinite at least, that I don't mind a really condensed setup. Like we kept seeing or we kept seeing examples on live fire of like your whole team going back into A, and I just hated it because we're so condensed, we're not taking any space for ourselves. But like during this hill, it's actually okay to have like 2 or 3 guys that are holding hands in, because like there's only a few entry points to this hill, right? Like this tiny doorway, which is easily grenaded, the tiny doorway up top, and then like this area. But if you have a guy that's like up here, he can kind of mitigate a lot of the pressure on this side and then lean this way to like force enemies to chase him so that one of these guys can come help. Like it's actually, this is one of the literal only times in Halo Infinite that like we shouldn't be that worried about taking space, is like during this exact hill. So if we don't have the hill yet, we should be trying to set up a push through multiple entry points at the same time though.
Yeah, that hill's a tough break if everybody is set up in there for sure.
Yep. So we're still up 2-0. This hill is still gettable. We have to secure a kill. I'd like to go for Camo or get eyes on it if we can. Nice. We got a couple kills. We have the hill and we've got a free camo. Now this is a spot where I don't mind like pushing spawners with this camo. Based on our formation, we should also, this is again where we should know that they're gold and not go this route. So we spend so much time over here, and like this is another spot we should be paying attention to this context. Avenged Sevenfold spawned here, and we had a guy in the hill, and we just got 2 dead. Like, I'm grabbing this camo, and I'm either hugging this to go this way to like see if I can find a spawner here. If I hear noise on the other side, then I can just cut and push this way.
Yeah, or
But,
taking
like,
the box jump.
Yeah, or going right here, waiting for it to fully proc and then jumping up. I don't really like grabbing it and then going to a spot that like can be seen.
Yeah, I'm getting shot from the only place where they can be based on what you just pointed out.
Exactly. So.
And I'm gonna hit you with the 5 minute heads
Okay.
up.
All right, so we might not get through this whole game, but still be able to talk to you.
Yeah, it turns into a desperation play, trying not to die.
Yeah, we could have been a lot more impactful with that camo if we were just like more thoughtful about where the enemies are. Like, I don't know, this whole pit area cannot, like this part of the pit cannot be seen by anywhere but people on this side of the map. And we knew this side of the map was safe. So to lean into that, we just stay on this little safe area until it's fully procced. All right, so this is getting to the point where we got to be thinking about potentially giving up this hill and like just making sure we still have gold control for the next hill.
Yep.
Like we could still break this, but it's going to be hard. And the worst thing that we could do is die right now and then not have gold for the next hill.
Oh no.
We're all here though.
Oh no. Okay.
This might actually work. So the reason this works so well is because we had so many numbers, and because this guy is going in a unique angle while the other three come through that door. And low-key, him missing his jump right here was so huge. It's actually crazy to look at. He missed his first jump, so now his push is a little more delayed, and it ends up being perfect timing.
Timed perfectly. Wow.
Yeah, watch this.
Accidentally set up a good push.
Yeah. Like, he's not even close to being aware of what you guys are doing right now. Misses this jump. And now suddenly this push is perfect. Misses 2 jumps, actually.
Oh my god.
And now he can come in and shoot this guy while you guys all come through that door.
And he gets the kill. Crazy, dude.
It just shows the butterfly effect in this game, right? Like every tiny movement can make a huge impact in this game. It's crazy. All right, so I want to see what you do off of this. So like when we have this hill, we know they're either coming from C or gold. That's pretty much it. And okay, we get the point. Wow, up. It's ended up being a nail biter, huh? They come
We
back.
give them 3 hills in a row here.
We're not gonna have time to watch all of it.
And here I'm just not sure what I want to eat up because I don't have any help back here. So that's why I'm like kind of checking all the different angles.
I like that you dropped here because this is like, even though our teammate was C plat, like a lot of bottom mid is still a blind spot because usually what happens is like the guy that's plat is like looking this way. He's not really focused on bottom mid. So yeah, you dropping here was actually exactly what I wanted you to do. It's okay to start getting time, pull some attention to yourself. Problem is somebody got behind us.
Yeah, one just walked right through.
Yeah, ideally, like if we have this hill, like we want somebody that's either like here watching tower or like already gets tower, but they're more focused on like watching the perimeter side instead of like looking this way.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like the worst thing that can happen is they just come behind you on this side. So like the ideal setup would probably be top gold in the hill, and then somebody playing like, you know, one of those sides over there we just looked at. And then the other guy can just be like, I think honestly like C stairs, just like controlling this area, working together with this guy. Like you kind of want like two people working together on this side to respond to pressure from whichever way it comes from. Like if they come bottom mid, they can rotate and fight, or they can rotate and fight on this side. But this doesn't work out. Now we're really not in great spots to get time, but we're in good spots to keep the other team from getting time at least. If we look at it. Nice. So here your job is to fight the A spawners. And like I want you to see why. Like when you spawn here and there's all this action down there, like you know the other team is spawning in A. So I like to just find a spot that I can shoot. Like right here, you can shoot people coming out of A, but you can also escape if you need to.
Yeah.
Like you can maybe slide and get behind this box and then eventually go long haul if you need. But we should already be thinking that people are spawning A just because we spawned here.
I'm willing to bet I beeline for control here.
Yeah, looks like it. Well, you got the
camo,
but we weren't even looking A at all.
No.
So that tells me we weren't thinking about the context of our own spawn point to deduce where the other team was going to be. That should just be ingrained in literally every time you spawn. Just ask yourself, is my spawn telling me where the other team is? Oftentimes it is. There's sometimes it doesn't. Like if you just spawn with your teammates and the rest of the map is still open, then you know the game's really not giving you much intel based on that spawn. But the spawn point gave us a lot of intel. Because like there was people dead on both sides when you spawned. So that means other people are spawning at the same time you're spawning. If we have surviving teammates around here, it's unlikely the game decides it's okay to spawn the other team here. So we just always have to think about that. It's kind of like a triangle in a lot of these. Like if you spawn here and we have teammates over there, you spawn here because the other team is going to spawn there. It's just like a triangle. On streets, if there's a huge fight in C and you spawn cafe, the other team's probably spawning PD. Like it's just think of the map as a triangle in those spawn situations. Am I cutting into 5 minutes about it? Estimated time.
If you want to wrap up kind of like this, whatever this playthrough is, and then.
Yeah. I mean, I think we already kind of missed the play, which was to fight A, and now we don't have space. So that kind of just exemplifies why we should have looked A there. But no, I think this is a great session. I hope that you got a lot out of it, and
100%, more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, and I think that I'll definitely try to. Are you going to be able to stream later? When's your next stream?
Tomorrow, but I'm unsure of when. It's a crazy day tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, like early to mid-afternoon, if I had to guess.
Okay, cool. I'll be casting the Oath tournament, so I probably won't be able to tune in until after that. You probably won't still be going, but either way, I'll check in on you and see how the games are going. If you're seeing the game a little bit differently, but just to like further cement what we talked about in your thought process, like just give me like what your personal takeaways were from this.
My main takeaway is eat up the map. Eat up the map and have confidence in kind of taking that route where you may not like be looking at the same thing your teammates are looking at, but you're getting in a better position to help your team basically get the kills or hold. Well, it was an oddball game, so hold whatever objective is the common goal at the time. You don't always have to be centered in on that one area of the map where the objective is to make a huge play on the objective to get you, in this case, or in that case, oddball time. But
Yep.
And then also,
that's a huge one.
Also setting up when it's go time. Like if you're the first one pushing out, basically hold and wait till you have help, because it's senseless just to push in solo. And also don't be afraid to call out and be like, I'm gonna push this area, you guys spread out, and then like, I don't know, on cue, or wait for whoever to spawn up. Basically just doing a better job calming to put yourself in a position to set up a timed push rather than wasting pushes. Play it like there's only 5 seconds left when you have an entire game left, and then that's how you're going to make a clean break rather than just running all willy-nilly and dying a lot.
Yep. Yeah, waiting too long before you make the coordinated push is how a lot of people lose games. So,
and also let the spawns tell you where to go.
Yep. Yeah, if you spawn away from your teammate, like away from the rest of your team, there's a reason. So ask yourself what that reason is. And it's usually because the other team is near your teammates and in like an adjacent area. Oftentimes you can just fight the adjacent area and now you're getting space for the next play, or sometimes you just kill their whole team because you're usually in a unique position to fight the other spawners. And if you're able to kill them while your teammates kill the rest of the team, sometimes you just get a free setup. So,
yep.
All right, cool, man. Any final thoughts or words you want to say before we bounce out of here?
Yeah, man. Plug it up. Plug your. We got Eli's Metafy link down in the description there. You can click that. You can go see what he offers for coaching sessions if you guys want one for yourself and your gameplay. Also, his Twitch channel is down there. You'd be insane not to follow him, man. It takes 2 seconds. Click the Twitch link. Go over there. Make sure you're logged in and just hit that little follow button.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. And just so everybody knows, like, yeah, Coach. He's a diamond player, but I coach all ranges of skill levels. I think Cody's going to be in Onyx pretty soon here after he starts applying all these things that we talked about. But I've coached even as low as bronze, silver. Like it's gonna take a different shape depending on where you currently are. But I like to just make sure that whatever I think you need right now is what I focus on during the session. So definitely check me out. Hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions. Feel free to DM me, whatever. I'm more than happy to answer questions.
And subscribe to Above Average Cody.
Yes, always sub to above average Cody. I've got his link in my chat.
Completely free to do so. Different than a Twitch sub.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So we've yeah, go ahead. Anybody in my stream, please go follow Cody. He streams every day in the morning. I can tell you guys are morning people since you're here right now. So when I am not on, he is probably on. So awesome, man. Well, I'll go ahead and let you go, and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. All right, later, man.
Peace out. All right, chat. Magic, thank you for coming in. Everybody else, thank you for hanging out. Unfortunately, I have to get to work early today. That's why we can't really do like the full-length stream, but Eli was cool enough to kind of rake himself out of bed early with a pot of coffee to kick this off, and I'm glad we were able to do another one for you guys. Tons of monster takeaways. I see. How was the session? Even I got way more out of it than I thought I could have, because my main focus was kind of what I was doing, in terms of like hesitating and kind of not being in a good position to do a lot of damage and a lot of kills and basically help out the team. He picked up on it way sooner than like I could have imagined, and now I see a lot of things that I could be doing differently to pretty much put myself in a position to be a more useful player. Because what I told him at the start of the session was my BR skills and my aim has been much better, very cracked, but I'm not putting myself in a position to put it to my advantage and kind of help out the team and put up those nicer stat lines. So I think I have better understanding on how to do that. But again, thank you everybody popping in. I'm sorry I didn't get to read a ton of chat. Whenever I get time to go live tomorrow, because the electrician is coming tomorrow morning, whenever we get time, we'll do much more talking. I'll probably do a video on my takeaways like I did last time, because there was a lot of good info. If you guys popped in late, I encourage you to go back and watch this. It will be up on the channel. But enough talk about that, guys. Thank you so much, everybody that popped in. Magic Onyx in no time. I hope so. We'll see what we can do, see what we can make happen. But thank you, everybody else. Stu, I'm glad you got to see a game you were in. Everybody else, Doug, Cody, Jake, Clutch Hayes, TJ, Dewey, Masked Up, Derek, all y'all, thank you for hanging out, man. I appreciate all y'all. You guys are awesome. You guys help me keep the drive to want to keep getting better and even go through coaching sessions and things like that. But yeah, tons of fun. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. We love seeing Eli come on the channel like this. And a lot of you were asking to do it again, and here it is, man. Here it is. So, again, thank you, everybody. Appreciate all of you so much. It's been a super crazy, super messed up week, and tomorrow's just as crazy, but I'm just trying to keep the content flowing for you guys. So, again, hope you enjoyed it. Anyways, I got to go into work early, so that's why I got to hurry up and end. But, again, just thank you guys for vibing with me on this busy week, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. So, enjoy your Friday, guys. Oh, Masked Up, you're too kind. You're too kind as I'm trying to wrap up. The $4.99 super chat. Great breakdowns and analysis today, Cody. Thanks to you and him both, brother. Of course, guys, again, Eli's links down in the description. At least go follow him on Twitch. It's completely free. You can see when he goes live. I've watched the streams outside of his coaching sessions. There's always a ton to learn from him. Super knowledgeable player, fun guy. And, of course, he has the Metafy link also in the description if you guys want to see what he offers for coaching. In my opinion, and what I take away from it, it's very affordable for the time he gives. This isn't like a plug. He didn't ask me to plug this. This is just me giving, you guys know I'm real with you guys. I've always had a weird standpoint on coaching, but Eli's coaching, very affordable compared to the knowledge you get from it. So completely up to you guys, though. So don't think I'm like, you have to do it, but definitely give him a follow, man. And follow Magic, too. Magic Moonshot on Twitch. I preach this all the time. Much love, Magic. Happy Friday. Again, love y'all. You guys are awesome. Have a fantastic Friday. If I don't see you in tomorrow's stream, please have an amazing weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy it. And yeah, guys, that's all I got for y'all. Appreciate you guys. You guys are literally so awesome. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay happy and healthy. Y'all know the drill. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out, guys.